service of Srimati Radhika. So, how do you, how do you serve? Well, service of Srimati Radhika is service to Krishna. Srimati Radhika isn't happy unless Krishna is happy. But Krishna sometimes teases Srimati Radhika. So sometimes Krishna steal their clothes just to make her mad. Then she comes running after him. And she, yells at him. This like pastimes. So you get so many, Shastra says this. You get so many circles, but you forget that pastimes are really so simple and sweet. So for me, anyway, I'm trying to understand the technical parts, and then I lose sight of.
Yeah, you're cerebral. Yeah.
My talk they yell at me.
Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Kamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatan Sahagana Raghunathan Vitham Tham Sajivam Jaitam Savadutam Harijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Snapadan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakanvitamscha Om Jnanatmirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namo Vishnu Padaya Radhikaya Priyamane Shri Srimad Bhakti Vedanta Narayaniti Namine Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Bhutale Mate Bhakti Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Acharya Singharupine Shishimad Bhakti Pragyana Keshava Iti Namine Atimartya Charitraya Swashitanam Chapaline Jiva Dukhe Siddharthaya Shinama Premadayine Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Namine Shiva Shabana Videvi Taitaya Kripataye Krishna Sambandha Vijnana Daine Prabhave Namaha Madhuyojvala Prema Shri Rupanuga Bhaktida Shri Gaura Karuna Shakti Vigrahaya Namostute Namaste Gauravani Shri Murtaye Dinatarine Rupanuga Vidutapa Siddhanta Dvanta Harine Namo Gaura Kishoraya Sakshat Vairagya Murtaye Vipranambara Sambhavade Adambujayate Namaha Namo Bhakti Vinodaya Satchidananda Namine Gaura Shakti Swarupaya Rupanuga Varayate Gaura Virbhava Bhume Swam Nirdeshta Sajana Priya Vaishnava Sarvabhauma Shri Jagannatayate Namaha Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratrise Namaha Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandha Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Jayatang surato pangor mama manda materyati matsarva swapadam bojo shirada madana mohano divya vrindalanya kalpadrumada shimaratnagana simhasanasto shishirada shila govinda devo prishtaya visevya manosmarami shimanya sarasarambi Bang Shivata Tatastitaha Harshan Venu Swanir Gopir Gopinata Shriestuna Vrindaye Tulasi Devyaye Priyaye Keshavasya Cha Krishna Bhakti Prade Devi Satyavachaya Namo Namaha Panchatattvamakam Krishnam Bhakta Rupa Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Because I'm just going to You're cute to me as well. They're all traveling, so they can't do it. I want to see such beautiful kids. Come on. Before you sing this, Guru Charana Kamal, 1978 had to be because before that. No, I wouldn't sing. No, I wouldn't. The people called okay. Okay, but this I'm saying this song, Shri Guru Charana Kamal. Okay. 1978, I was in DC right before I was preaching in Africa, and I played this song over and over again so many times that the tape broke. You understand? It's only later on I found out it was Gurudev wrote this, but
It was Gurudev? Yeah.
Somebody know what page is in
359.
Little book.
let me see.
It's actually 3 movies.
Probably it'll be at the end of the book.
It'll be Hindi bhajans.
Yeah, 359. Shri Guru Charana Kamala Bhajama Shri Guru Charana Kamala Bhajama Guru Charana Kamala Bhajama Guru Charana Shri Guru Charana Kamala Guru Kripa Vina Nahi Koi Sadhana Bhajamana Bhajanuksha Guru Charana Kamala Bhajama Shri Guru Charana Kamala Ajama Nilata nahi aisa Durlabha janama Pramata hu chodaha bhuvan किसी को मिलते हैं आओ भाग्य से हरि भक्तों के दर्शन हरि भक्तों के दर्शन किसी को मिलते भाग्य से हरि भक्तों दर्शन हरि भक्तों के दर्शन ओ गुरु चरण कमल भजमा Shri Guru Charana Kamala Ajama Krishna Kripa Ki Ananda Murti Dina Jana Karuna Nidan Bhakti Bhava Prem Dina Prakashata Shri Guru Patita Pavan Shri Guru Patita Pavan Bhakti Bhava Prem Patita Guru Charana Kamala Bhajama Shri Guru Charana Kamala Bhajama Shruti Smriti Purana Namahi Kino Spasha Brahma Tana Mana Jivan Guru Padaya Sada Hari Namarata Sada Hari Namarata Sada Guru Padaya Sada Sada Hari Guru Charana Kamala Bhajama. O Guru Charana Kamala Bhajama. Shri Guru Charana Kamala Bhajama. O Jaya Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva, Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva. Jaya Patita Pavana Guru Deva, Patita Pavana Guru Deva. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Worship the lotus feet of Sri Guru, O mind. Worship Guru's mercy. We have no strength in our sadhan. O mind, worship Guru. Worship him in every moment. This rare human birth is not often found, as we scour the 14 planes of existence. A chance few, by astounding good fortune, get a glimpse, a devotee of Sri Hari. He's the blissful embodiment of Sri Krishna's mercy and the reservoir of compassion for the destitute. Manifesting bhakti, bhav, and prem, Sri Guru is the savior of the fallen. All the Shrutis, Smritis, and Puranas describe Sri Guru's glories. There is clear evidence of this. Offering my body, mind, and very life at the feet of Guru Dev, I incessantly sing Sri Harinam.
Page 41. Hari Hari Kabe More Have Himani. Hari Hari Kabe More Have 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 Bimala Vaishnave Ratiyo Pajibe Prabhasana Hoibe Bimala Antara Bahire Samapya Vahara Antara Bahire Samapya Ayantara Bahire Samapya Vahara Amani Manada Krishna Sankirtane, Shri Krishna Smarane, Krishna Sankirtane, Krishna Sankirtane, Shri Krishna Smarane, Satat Majiya Rava. এ দেহের ক্রিয়া অভ্যাস করিব এ দেহের ক্রিয়া অভ্যাস করিব জীবন যাপন লাগি শ্রী কৃষ্ণ ভজনে অনুকূল যাহা কাহে হব অনুরাগী Hare Hare Kave mo Kave modi Kave mo Kave Bhajaner jaha Pratikulataha Bhajaner jaha Pratikulataha Vridha bhavete agiva भजिते भजिते समय आशिले ए देह छाड़िया देव भक्ति विनोदे आशा करी ঠাকুর ভক্তি আশা করি বসিয়া রদ্রমানে প্রভু কৃপা লাগি ব্যাকুলয়ান্তরে সদা করে সঙ্গ পাই কাবে মো কাবে जय वैष्णव ठाकुर जय वैष्णव ठाकुर जय वैष्णव जय गुरुदेवा गुरुदेवा जय जय प्रभु पदा When will such a day be mine? I shall develop attachment to pure-hearted Vaishnavas, by which my material desires will be subdued. No disparity shall remain between my internal and external behavior. I shall not desire honor for myself, and shall instead offer respect to others. I shall remain constantly absorbed in chanting Krishna's names and remembering him. I shall perform my bodily activities out of habit, just to maintain my life. I shall become attached only to that which is favorable for the bhajan of Sri Krishna. I shall firmly reject whatever is unfavorable for bhajan. Absorbed in bhajan, when the time comes, I shall readily give up this body. With these aspirations, Bhaktivinoda resides in the forest of Godrum. He always weeps in a solitary place, anxious at heart to receive the mercy of the Lord.
Page 61.
Which one?
Nitai Gunamani. Nitai Gunamani Amar. Nitai Gunamani. Niya Primera Banya. Vasailo Avani. Nitai Gunamani Amar. Nitai Gunamani. Aniya Primera Banya. Vasailo Avani. Nitai Gunamani. Vanya Soya Nitai Oilo Goda Deshe Tubilo Bakata Gana Hina Hina Vashe Soya Nitai Oda Deshe Dina hina pachita pa marana hivache kamala dola bhavena savakari jati dina hina pachita pa marana hivache Avadha Karuna Sindhu Katiya Mohana Gare Gare Bole Prema Amiyana Avadha Karuna Sindhu Katiya Mohana Nitai Guna Mani Amai, Nitai Guna Mani, Aliya Peghe Abaya, Vajaya Mani, Nitai Guna Mani Amai, Nitai Guna Mani. Jaya Nityananda Jaya Nitai Gaura Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Nitai Gaura Hari Bo, Nitai Gaura Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Nitai Gaura Hari Bo.
It's become ecstatic. Narumuni Vina, Narumuni Vina, if he will sing, the Vina will also sing separately.
Nitai is a jewel of all virtues. My Nitai is a jewel of all virtues. He has inundated the entire world with a flood of divine love, prema. Nitai has come to the land of Goda, Bengal, bringing that flood of prema. The devotees are submerged in it, but the wretched and lowly remain floating. He does not discriminate against the wretched, lowly, fallen, and sinful. He freely offers to everyone the prema that is so rare that it is difficult for even Lord Brahma to obtain. By cutting a channel in the dam holding the unlimited ocean of mercy, Nitai has caused a flood of nectarian prema to surge in each and every house. Lochan Das says, "Whoever has not worshipped my Nitai knowingly commits suicide."
Our native email?
No. Yeah, of course.
What?
Oh, there's a door?
Either one. Yeah, sure. Jagannath Prabhu. Jagannath Prabhu.
What page is on? $200. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Daya Kora Mori. You have the wrong page when I give you this. 1 second. That is the incorrect page. Which one was it? It is 200?
I think you're good.
No. Here we go. I'm so sorry. It's page 96. Forgive me. Here we go. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Daya Kora More Tuma Vina Kirayalu Jagata Samsare Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Daya Karo More Tumma Bina Kirayanu Jagata Samsare Vina Kirayanu Jagata Samsare Patita Pavana Ritu Bhavavatara Mosamo Patita Prabhu Napaiveya Patita Pavana Prabhu Nityananda Premananda Suki Gita Gopana Koro Ami Bharuki Ami Bharuki Daya Karo Sita Pati Advaita Gosai Navapita Vale Pai Chaitanya Ahasaru Sanatana Rupara Gunata Bakajuga Shri Jiva Prabhu Lokanata Sanatana Rupara Gunata Bakajuga Shri Jiva Prabhu Lokanata Daya Karo Shri Acharya Prabhu Shri Rasa Nama Chanda Sangamage Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Daya Karo More Tumma Vina Kirayanu Jagata Samsare
O Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu, be merciful to me. Except for you, who in this material existence is so full of compassion? The reason for your descent is to deliver the fallen souls. O Lord, you will find no one as fallen as me. O Nityananda Prabhu, who are always joyful in ecstatic love, glance upon me with compassion, for I am very sorrowful. O Advaita Gosai, husband of Sita, be kind to me. By the power of your mercy, I can surely attain Sri Chaitanya Nitai. Alas, O Sri Damodar Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, Rupa Goswami, and Raghunath Das Goswami, O Gopal Bhatt Goswami, Raghunath Bhatt Goswami, and Sri Jiva Goswami, O my master Loknath Das Goswami, give me your mercy. Be merciful, O Prabhu Srinivasacharya. Narottam Das begs for the association of Ramchandra Kaviraj.
Krishna? Hare Krishna. This one is okay? No. I was just feeling, actually. I was thinking page 352.
Which bhajan?
Shrita Kamala. Whenever I'm near Radhika Didi, I always feel like I'm in Orissa. Sri Mangala Geetam by Sri Jayadev Goswami. Sorry, I'm not going to sing any traditional Oriya tune. I'm singing page 352, Sri Mangala Geetam by Sri Jayadev Goswami starts Shrita Kamala. Shrita Kamala Kuchamandala Drita Kundalaye Shrita Kamala Kuchamandala Drita Kundalaye Lalita Lalita Vanamaya Jaya Jaya Deva Lalita Lalita Radhe Krishna Govinda Gopala Nanda Lala Jashoda Lala Jaya Jaya Deva Hare Mani Mandala Mandana Bhavakadana Jaya Jaya Deva Hare Jaya Jaya Deva Hare Samara Samita Dasaganda Adinava Jaladhara Sudara Gridhamandara Shri Mukha Chandra Kadora Radha Mukha Chandra Chakora Jaya Jaya Deva Radha Mukha Chandra Radhe Krishna Govinda Gopala Nanda Dulala Yashoda Dulala Jaya Jaya Deva
Jaya Jaya Deva Hare Krishna Govinda Gopala Jaya Jaya Deva Jaya Jagannath Jaya Jaya Guru Jai Ho Krishna Charanani Goswami ki That voice is a little undiscovered. And also, she's such a great kirtaniya. There's so many great kirtaniyas here. Oh, I've been so many. All of them.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Radhe Radhe Radhe, Jai 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 Shri Radhe. Radhe Radhe Radhe, Jai 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 Shri Radhe. Oh Radhe Radhe Radhe, Jai 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 Shri Radhe. Radhe Radhe Radhe, Jai 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 Shri Radhe. Oh Radhe Radhe Radhe, Jai 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 Shri Radhe. Oh Radhe Radhe Radhe, Jai 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 Shri Radhe. Oh Radhe Radhe Radhe, Jai 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 Shri Radhe. Oh Radhe Radhe Radhe, Jai 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 Shri Radhe. Oh Radhe Radhe Radhe, Jai 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 Shri Radhe. Oh Radhe Radhe Radhe, Jai 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 Shri Radhe. Oh Bolo Radhe Radhe Radhe, Jai 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 Shri Radhe. Oh Jaya Radha Radhe Hari Radha Radhe Hari Jaya Radha Vinodi Hari Radha Vinodi Hari Radhe. Oh Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Bol, Hari Bol. Nitai Bol.
I'm not going to say the invocation mantras. I'm leaving that up to Mukunda Prabhu, an eternally international pure devotee preacher who's come to grace us, and along with his 5 pure devotee associates, whom I know well, are in very advanced powerful souls and preachers on behalf of Srila Gurudev Prabhupada and our Guru Parampara's mission. So I'm turning over the floor to him.
I'm sorry.
Hare Krishna.
Hey Shri Guru Ganada Swananda Karunaya Kasindhu Nindavana Sinavatara Prasida Siddhara Pranaya Pachara Ajana Lambita Bujo Konaka Vodadato Sankirtana Kapitalo Kamala Taksha Vishwambaro Dvijvayo Yadama Paro Bandeji Karuna Avataro Ananda Lilamaya Vigrahaya Hemam Devacha Vishundra Tasmai Mahaprema Rashapada Shri Chaitanya Chandra Namo Namaste Kaspiriti Vakamata Potale Vaxina Postama Sagari Varvotikam Karatale Venu Karakankanam Sava Anga Harichandanam Sulalitam Kantam Muktavali Prajastrio Parivestito Vijayate Gopala Chudamani He Shishama Shundara Shikara Shekara Smiraha Sramili Manohara Radikarasika Mama Pipanidi Sapriya Charana Kinkarim Guru Tavai Vasmi Najivami Twayamina Iti Vigyaya Devam Nayamam Charanam Tikam Yata Kinkare Shubhasa Kalu Kakavani Nitaparasha Purusha Shashakandamali Tashagadara Sanideva Sabanujas Tatkeli Kunjaba Vanangana Mahajani Shama Pajami Radha Ravinda Netram Smarami Radha Madhura Smitasham Vadami Radha Karuna Varajam Tato Munaspigati Nakapi Pakita Bahina Yaparada Lakshay Shiptastakama Taram Gamaji Kripamayi Tvam Sharanam Rapada Rinde Namaste Charanaya Kanaka Jaladagatro Nirasobhagya Netro Mrigo Malabalu Malati Kundamala Taruna Taruna Vesho Nilampitam Bharesho Smaranimi Britani Kunje Radhika Krishna Chandro Vanchakalpaturvyascha Kripa Sindhu Vacha Patitana Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare. Once more. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare. And then my pranams. I'm so happy to be here. Before I try to serve Harikatha, I'm going to ask Radhi Shambhavu is my senior. Of course, Didi is my super senior, but also Bhumipati Babu was also Shishya of Srila Prabhupada. So I'll ask that he's traveling with us, that he will speak a few words first. I did want to.
No, they hear me every day.
It's okay.
I know hear you every day. Besides the guest, I want to hear something.
We did discuss that just like the wives of the Yagnik Brahmins, our wives came first. You understand? And we only got realization afterwards we should immediately come here. I don't know if you, my wife came and Sanatan's wife came and so forth. So our wives came, now we have some realization, we must come here, take Darshan, Shishi Radharama Bihari Ju and Didi, everything. So we're lacking behind, you forgive us.
Gurave Gaura Chandraya Radhikaya Tadale Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tad Bhaktaya Namo Namaha Nama Shrestam Manumapi Sachi Putra Macha Sarupam Rupam Tishagajam Rupavim Matarim Gostavatim Radha Kundam Girivaram Ho Radhika Madhavasham Prapto Yasha Pratitya Kripaya Shri Guru Tamnatosmi Tranadapi Sunichena Tarodapi Saishnana Amanina Manatena Kirtaniya Sadari Bhaktya Vahina Parana Lakshai Shitashta Kamani Tarangamaji Kripa Maitram Saranam Pavana Brinde Namaste Charana Vrindam. First of all, I'd like to offer my respectful obeisances to the lotus feet of my spiritual master, His Divine Grace, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, my Diksha Guru. And also I'd like to offer my respectful obeisances at the lotus feet of my Shiksha Guru, His Divine Grace Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj. I'd like to offer respects to all Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis who are, were, or will be in the future. So I had thought about saying a few things, but when I came and was fortunate enough to be able to be in the presence of their lordships, one thing came to mind, that this Krishna, who's the son of Nanda Maharaj, he is our most worshipable object. And just as he's worshipable, so is the land of Vrindavan. The method that he's served by the Brajaramadis or the Gopis, especially Srimati Radhika, is the topmost. And the supreme evidence for this is Srimad Bhagavatam. Love for this Krishna is the ultimate goal of life. And this is the conception and opinion of Mahaprabhu. And we're not concerned for any other. What are those other propensities or those other goals of life? Dharma, Artha, Kama, and Moksha. So everyone has the tendency to want to be religious and they want to do some type of business relation with God. Oh, I'll serve you if you give me this. So earlier I was speaking with one devotee here and I was explaining to her the 4 types of people who actually surrender to God or they come to God. Number 1 are those who are in some type of anxiety. And we have to give evidence. Where is this stated? The pastime of Gajendra the elephant, he was in great distress. So therefore, he offered a lotus flower to the Lord, who came and saved him from the anxiety of being in the fight with the crocodile. So next is Dhruva Maharaj, who was seeking wealth. He wanted a kingdom greater than his grandfather, his father, and his great-grandfather, Lord Brahma. So he had the fortune, by the mercy of his guru, Narada Muni, to get the darshan of the Lord. And in the presence of the Lord, he was able to obtain those things, but he had a desire for seeking some wealth. Third are the sages in Naimisharanya, who were inquisitive, and they inquired from Sutta Goswami as to the aim and objective of life. And by that association, they were able to obtain it. Fourth, those who had some knowledge. They had knowledge of the impersonal aspect of the Supreme Lord. But by the grace and mercy of getting to smell the tulsi leaves on the feet of the Lord, they were able to obtain, what is the verse? Brahmeti, Paramatmeti, Bhagavan iti Shabhyate. So Krishna is understood in three aspects: the impersonal aspect, the localized aspect, but then the Bhagavan aspect. But this Krishna who's here today, this is topmost. Krishna is the topmost, the source of all other manifestations or incarnations. So we're very fortunate. We should understand the importance of taking to this process of free from dharma, artha, kama, and moksha. And what is the process? Anyabilasita sunyam jnana karmari anavritam anakulyena krishna nushilanam bhakta uttama. Who doesn't know what this verse means? So all of you today, before you leave, Shamarani has copies of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu Bindu. You must get one before you leave. You must. If you don't, I don't know what can happen to you. You must get a copy of it. It has to be. If you want to advance in Bhakti, first of all, you have to know what it is. If we're calling ourselves Bhaktas or Bhaktins, and we don't know what Bhakti is, what good is it? What good is it? So therefore, you have to know. So we want to sell some books, and also later, we want to get some copies. I'll talk to you over Shanti to mail me some more copies. So, we have to try to come to a close understanding. My spiritual master, the first book I obtained was Nectar of Devotion. And he made a statement in that, in the preface: every service has an attractive feature which drives the servitor progressively on, and the impetus is the pleasure we derive from it. So the nature of the jiva, or the soul, is that we're all seeking happiness and pleasure. Who here is not seeking happiness or some type of satisfaction or pleasure? The difficulty we have is that happiness materially will never satisfy you. Why not? Because it doesn't endure. Has anyone here experienced the type of happiness that's ever increasing and never stops?
No.
Then that's what we're seeking.
Yeah.
So this is what the process, it's like an offshoot. We're not actually seeking by doing bhakti that, yes, I want to be pleased, but automatically, just like your body, if you're thirsty or you're hungry, say you're really, really thirsty, do you go stand in the shower? The water will run all over your body. Does it satisfy you? No. Where do we put the water? You drink the water, you put it in the stomach. You're hungry. You don't take the prasad and smear it all over your body. You put it in the mouth, put it in when the stomach is satisfied and pleased, all the parts of the body are nourished. So in the same way, when Krishna is pleased, all the other living entities are pleased. So by taking to the process of Sutta Bhakti, we have the opportunity not only to enrich ourselves, but to enrich everyone. This is the conception and opinion of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. We shouldn't be concerned with any other, because what will they do? How will they help? We've tried this for millions and millions of births. Now you have a human form of birth. You have the opportunity to come in contact with those who have some conception of understanding Sutta Bhakti. How do we get Bhakti? We're talking about Bhakti. How do we get it? Anyone know? Can someone say?
Nityasira Krishna Prema Shadakabonaya Shadanavi Shudachite Korea Udoy.
Yes, yes. Krishna Bhakti Janma Mula Hoya Sadhu Sangha. Krishna Bhakti Janma Teno Puna Mukhya Anga. The root cause of bhakti is association of advanced devotees. When one's consciousness becomes awakened, that same type of association is the most essential thing. Srila Gurudev writes in that Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu Bindu, the 11th Anga of Bhakti describes Asadhu Sangha. But Gurudev makes a point in that. Sangha means with attachment. We may come in contact with devotees. We may come in contact with the temple, so many things, but if we don't develop something in our heart, attachment for it, this mamata, it won't stick. So whatever we're attached to, that's what we're associating with. So we have to develop attachment for Hari, Guru, and Vaishnavas. Then that will carry us. Then that will help it. That will be actual association. Because if not, material nature is very, very strong. Very strong. My spiritual master's, one of the last instructions he gave, he said 2 things. My disciples don't get along and they're not sufficiently afraid of Maya. He said, you don't understand. Maya will crush you. Maya will crush you. So don't play. Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshava Maharaj, she made one point about the process of bhakti. That bhakti is not for the timid, the cowardly, or the weak. So we have to take a strong stand. Even we may be weak, but one thing we have to have is sincerity and determination. If you've seen the picture in Srila Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita of the small sparrow, the ocean took the eggs from the sparrow. And the sparrow said, give me my eggs back or I'm going to drink you up. And the ocean laughed. Yeah, right. But what happened? What happened? By mercy of Garuda came, okay, give them back or I got you. Because Garuda has that propensity, he could have swallowed the whole ocean like that. So by mercy of the Vaishnavas, with our determination, we get an opportunity to continue to advance in bhakti. So many levels, different stages of bhakti. But if we're sincere and we don't develop misconceptions, in Bhakti Tattva Vivek, I had this conversation with Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Maharaj, Srila Gurudev. And when I pointed out to him that in the first 2 pages of Bhakti Tattva Vivek, where Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur mentions, misconception is our greatest enemy. If we're not sure about something, you have to inquire and get it right. Without anugacha, without guidance, it's not possible. There's one verse, Chaitanya Charitamrita, what's it? Madhya chapter 8, text 230. Without the guidance of the gopis, it's not possible. You can serve that Krishna who's here without that guidance. Otherwise, you don't get the opportunity to serve Krishna in Vrindavan. In the beginning, we come in, we worship the Lord, we're worshiping the Lord, but actually, in Vaidhi Bhakti, we're serving Lakshmi Narayan. Only in Raga Marg do we get the understanding and the ability to serve Krishna in Vrindavan under the guidance of the Ragatmika Jan and those in this world who are following Raganuga Bhakti. So does anyone have any comment or question about anything that I mentioned? I don't want to take too long because I know the potency and power of Mukunda Prabhu's class and I want to hear it myself. So any comment, any question?
We'll take it the end again.
Yes.
How to develop attachment for a Vaishnava?
Right. Yes, by that association and giving up your own self-interest. So at the very beginning of the bhakti process, we come, and it's what is known as saranagati, accepting things favorable, rejecting things unfavorable, considering Krishna to be our protector and our maintainer, giving up everything for Krishna's service and humility. So that's simply the doorway to bhakti. It's not bhakti in and of itself. So by developing and giving up our false ego, because of our false ego, we think, oh, I come to the process of bhakti, but I'm still such and such, this, John, this, that. We have no conception that we have to have a clean, complete slate. And if we don't clean our slate, weakness is one thing, but false ego is very strong. Of all the elements, earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, ego is 10 times, 10 times, 10 times, so many, so powerful. It's not easy to just say, okay, I'll give up false ego. And one of the parts of false ego is our pride. I'm knowing so much. I'm knowing, I and mine. And what does Srila Raghunath Das Goswami saying, Mana Shiksha, that it fails to recognize itself, our pride. We don't understand. We have so much pride, so many misconceptions. This is the power of Maya. So if we surrender and give that up and take the association and the guidance without anugatya or guidance of the pure devotees, it's not possible to make advancement in bhakti. And this is a one-way ticket. This is not a round-trip ticket. When you come to Mahaprabhu, you come to the process of bhakti, it ain't going back, I'll do this for 4 or 5 years, and then I'll go back home. I'll do what I was doing before. No. Because then also, Srila Gurudev mentions in Bhagavad Gita, 7th chapter, text 15, where he talks about the 4 types of people who don't surrender. One who takes to the process of bhakti, but gives it up. They are known as the lowest of mankind. Let that sink into your ego for a minute. You want to be known as a quitter and giving up the process? Come on, stay strong, keep going. Srila Gurudev says, don't be hopeless, don't be weak. Who here is complete? There's some people in this room that are pure. I don't know, I'm not pure, but I don't know if anyone could tell me that, what I think is wrong, so. You can't beat me anyway. But anyway, honestly though, but we have to keep a sincerity in the process of trying to develop. If we're just sincere, Krishna will help us, Guru will help us. I was mentioning to one devotee today, in Adi Lila chapter 1, text 98, 97, 98, 99, and 100, by the mercy of these 2 lords, Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda, they dissipate the darkness of the heart and give us the association of the 2 types of Bhagavats, the person Bhagavat and the book Bhagavat. Then, 1st canto, chapter 2, text 18, Nasta Prayeshu Abhadreshu, Nitsham Bhagavata Sevaya, Bhagavati Uttama Slokir, Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki. In this purport, Prabhupada mentions either or is sufficient to help you to advance. But he says if one really wants to understand the book Bhagavat, you have to have the association of the person Bhagavat. So the books are good to read because it'll help remind you, but you have to be under guidance of the Vaishnavas. So I'll end here.
So, as usual, Prabhuji gave me so much inspiration to try to speak relevantly, but I noticed that we have a very mixed audience. I think some devotees may be newer, some devotees may be more experienced. So maybe we'll try to formulate Harikatha in such a way that it addresses everyone's needs. I will always feel some sadness if I walk away somehow or another from serving Harikatha and everybody did not get something. I think that's a very important thing. When I was traveling most recently, I was going in the West, and many of the programs were completely new people. I mean, there was like maybe 1 or 2 devotees, and then everybody else was new. Wow. So the entire Harikatha was, how do we understand things from their perspective and how they can grow in bhakti? So anyways, if we track out the journey of the jiva, because this is a way that we can begin to understand something. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, in the 11th canto, it's mentioned there, Anadi Avijja Yuktasha Purushasha Vedatmanam Svatona Sambhavantiyanya Gyanatva Gyanado Bhavet. So here it's saying that from time without any beginning, means Anadika means literally there was no beginning. The jivas or the atmas or each individual soul in this room has been in the material world. Oh my gosh, how could Krishna be so mean that from time without any beginning, and what did I do wrong? Jiva's lives matter. Why was it that I was put into the material world from time without any beginning, and I had to suffer all of this time? So, Srila Jiva Goswami Pad has given a very nice analysis. How many people actually believe that they suffered in the material world? Anybody will raise their hand? Because everybody believes. But is it a fact or not? Is it a fact or not? So, our Goswami Vargas have explained that Jiva's experience with the material world is vicarious. Asambhoyanya Purushaha. The Atma has never touched the material world. Just as if you watch a movie on a TV screen and you make an emotional investment in the plot, the hero, the heroine, the movie itself, you become a rider in that emotional roller coaster. But are you actually in the movie? You're not. But you're identifying, oh yes, yes. If there's a horror movie and the person's about to go into the place that's bad, you go, don't go in there. Don't do it, don't do it. And you close your eyes. You understand? In the same way, the Jivas have been looking at the workings of the material energy from the position Jiva Goswami says, Ek Rupa Swarupa Bhav. Situated in their own nature, they're vicariously looking at the material world, identifying with it, and going through the emotional roller coaster of the material existence. He also says in the same Paramatma Sandarbha that one of the qualities of the Jiva is Chid Ananda Atmika. It means that the Jivas are not inert, but also Ananda Atmaka means Dukkha Pratyogitva. There is no misery in the Atma. Therefore, there can't be any suffering in the Atma. So all the suffering of the Jiva is a vicarious experience. You understand? But in the verse that I mentioned, it says, unfortunately, the nature of the material energy is so strong. Bhumipati quoted from Bhagavad Gita, Mama Maya Duritaya. Maya is very strong. So in this verse, it's saying, Swato na sambhavanti. You cannot get yourself out. Because it's mentioned, avidya, or the ignorance potency in the material world, has 5 features. Does anybody know these 5 features of avidya? Avidya itself.
Is it the self-deception?
Asmita. Next.
Fear of death.
Then we'll come in asmita.
Okay.
Is it like hunger, thirst?
No.
Rag.
Attachment.
Yes, rag.
Dvesh.
Aversion. And the last one is called abhinavesh. Abhinavesh means an inextricable absorption in the material energy that you cannot get out of. And therefore, from time without beginning, every jiva has been in this cycle of repeated birth and death. You get one karmic portfolio after another, life after life. And then in some life, Brahmanda Brahmati Konda Bhagavan Jeev Guru Krishna Prasadi Bhai Bhakti Latta Bij. You get the Bhakti Latta, but here in the verse it says Bhakti Latta Bij. The Bij here means Mati. It's explained by Goswamis. Mati means Sava Sangamena Ratna Ankur Rupeva Mati. Mati means the question that Sanatana Goswami asked to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, which everyone, that's why people come here, they're asking the question, who am I? Keami, Keremai, Jaretapatrai. Who am I and why am I suffering? That question means Mati. It's the point at which the jiva becomes a little discriminatory about what's going on here. There's got to be more to life than birth, old age, disease, death, 3 kinds of miseries, miseries of my own body and mind, miseries invoked by association with others, miseries invoked by the natural disturbances, demigods, etc. There must be something else besides this. That phase is called Mati. That is the Bij of Bhakti. Because until that question arises, the jiva doesn't make an endeavor to get out of the material world. Then Bhakti Latta means, at that time, as Prabhuji mentioned, by the association of a sadhu, one gets Shraddha or faith. And what is the power of faith? It's described. Shraddha Anuvayani Brajam Bhakti Unmukhi Chitti Vritti Visesh. Whereas I could not at all extricate myself from material energy. Just this faith alone has the power to break Abhinavesh. Understand? The faith coming from the heart of a sadhu has the power to break Abhinavesh. But how will we get that association? It will start by getting any Bhakti Unmukhi Sakritis. Earlier we were doing kirtan. Somebody's walking down the street here. They don't know what it is, but they hear ching, 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 ching. You understand? Just if they cannot understand what it is, did they get Sukriti or not?
They got Sukriti, yes.
Certainly if they will hear Harinam. so much Sukriti Fal will come. If by chance any devotee walks outside and they take one piece of prasad, oh, you're here, take one prasad cookie. More Sukriti Fal. And when those Sukritis accumulate in mass, it produces the ability to get sadhu sangha. And once you get sadhu sangha, then from that faith in sadhu sangha, then one can start the process of bhajan. See? So shraddha, ado shraddha, tata sadhu sangha, bhajana kriya. So what is this bhajan? Bhajan means bhajdatuti sevayam. The sadhu, guru, begins to teach the process by which not only you can get out of the material world, but that you can realize what Prabhuji was talking about, which is pure love of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Because in the material world, though everyone is looking for love, there used to be a very famous song. Everyone is looking for love in all the wrong places. You understand? But because it is intrinsic to the jiva to love, it's not possible to be without love. So the natural nature of the jiva is to find love. But kaitavam rahitam prema na prema nushloke. In the material world, there is no love because in the material world, everything is temporal. Can anybody name the husband or wife you had 3 lifetimes ago? I'm sure when you took your vows, you said, I love you too. You understand? But do you remember who they were? Nobody remembers. Because love cannot exist between one Atma and another. Love can only exist between the Atma and Bhagavan. But now, sometimes I've spoken like this and people say, wait a minute. That means I don't love my wife? I don't love my children? Rupa Goswami told the Dati Pratavinati Guyamakati Puchati Bhukte Bhojate Jaiva Sadviram Priti. The lakshana of Priti is there in devotee relationships because Krishna is the center. You understand? So our first experience of real love is when we come in contact with Sadhu Guru. You understand? And actually Guru means a sadhu who's performing the function. You understand? Guru is not, this is sometimes a difficult thing to digest. We in common parlance say Guru meaning this person. But Guru is the function is performed by a sadhu. Because what person who's Guru thinks I'm Guru?
None.
Bhaktivinoda Thakur told, Taisa Shatava, Tapya Savara, Guru Abhiman Tyaji. May the idea of Guru go very far away from me. You understand? So Guru doesn't think I'm Guru. But what is the function they perform? Gu Shabdat Andakarasha, Ru Shabdat Andakarasha Nirodita. By their Harikatha, by their example, they help to remove the darkness of avidya. Who's doing that? Sadhu. And sadhu means Sadnoti Sadati Cha Krishna Premiti Sadhu. Jiva Goswami told. That person who's understood that the ultimate goal of life is love of Krishna, being the function of removing ignorance to allow you to understand bhakti, that is called Guru. Understand? So the jiva is very fortunate. He comes in contact with sadhu, and then by placing faith in the sadhu, he takes shelter of that sadhu, that is called Guru Pad Asraya. And then in doing Guru Pad Asraya, Tata Diksha Shikshari Vishrambena Guru Seva. Now that person enters into relationship with Guru, and the Guru gives Diksha. So what is this Diksha? First, Guru gives Harinam. What is the Harinam? Bringing you into the line of conception of the names of God. This is Harinam. Bringing into line with conceptions related to the names of God. The names of God are composed of 32 syllables. If you count Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, 32 syllables. For many people, when they first come to Bhakti, they only understand these 32 syllables must be something special. You understand? I don't know exactly what it is, but it must be something special. And the vibe is very nice when I go there. And the prasadam is really good when I go there. When I first went to the temple, I think in 1972, I went to the Brooklyn Temple. The Sunday feast, Didi will attest, malpura, sweet rice, halava, and all in one. I don't know if it was not the most healthy thing, but it was spiritually healthy. Right? And obviously, I digested a lot of spiritual health. Anyway, besides the point. But Sunday feast was like that because they wanted that people would take so much prasadam, everything, you understand? But the point being that actually now coming, Guru gives Harinam. But the first understanding of Harinam is 32 syllables, the Akshar Harinam. But the Akshar of Harinam has the power to purify. So if a person will chant the Nam Akshar, they will become purified. You understand? And as the Antakaran means your subtle body becomes purified, it allows you to understand those 32 syllables as 16 names. So now you're identifying these 16 names, Hare, Krishna, and Ram, as being related to Thakurji. So now a person will say, oh, Hare means Radhika, Krishna means Krishna. So now they go on chanting very happily, Hare Krishna, and they engage in some service. You understand? So now more purification comes. As they become more purified, they begin to understand these 16 names can only exist as a yugul. That will happen upon taking Diksha. Understand? Upon taking Diksha from Sri Guru, then the relationship with Harinam is given. Divya Gyan Yanta Shrimati Matre Bhagavat Surup Gyanatena Bhagavat Sambandha Visesh Gyanangscha. Previously, we had what is called Samanya Sambandha Gyan. I am the Das of Krishna. Because this was the answer that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave to Sanatana Goswami. Jivara Surpoya Krishna Nitya Das. You're the Das of Krishna. Why are you suffering? What is it? Tatasa Shakti? Beda Be Prakash. Because in the marginal position, you can be influenced by material energy or by spiritual energy. But now, you understand I'm the Das of Krishna. But when you take Diksha, then at that time it is mentioned, Visesh Sambandha Gyan. So why is this so important? Because until there's Sambandha Gyan, there's no possibility to engage genuinely with Harinam. Harinam is always purifying. It doesn't matter whether you know or not. Harinam will purify. But it will not start to produce the nature of love of God until you have relationship. I wanted to mention to everybody, by the way, John Smith from Chicago, he's recently moved here to Miami. Everybody has a blank look on their face because who's John Smith? You understand? In the same way, until there is Sambandha Gyan to Krishna, and there's some indication of the Visesh Sambandha Gyan of the Jiva, the relationship with Harinam remains kind of vague. You understand? Upon receiving Diksha and receiving Sambandha Gyan, now the chanting of Harinam has relational value. In the beginning, that relational value will be according to the line of conception of Sri Guru. Whoever is your Guru, at the time of giving Diksha, Guru will give Guru Dhyan and other things. At that time, a conception forms in your heart. What conception? Oh, I also would like to serve Krishna like that. Like Paryadashi Kori Lalita Shundari. You understand? Because my Guru, is the accident that that Guru is my Guru? Karma is so exacting. In the third canto, Srimad Bhagavatam is mentioned there. Kamana, diving on a train, jumped to a deva bhakti. Karma is so exacting. But my spiritual life, my spiritual samskars, who became my Guru? That was random. So that person who became my Sadguru. Sadguru is very important. Because it may have been, we had this discussion yesterday among ourselves. It has been the experience that sometime a person has taken Guru. And there has been some crises of faith. That particular person maybe prematurely took that position, whatever it might be, and some difficulty came. Normally we will think, oh, I was so unfortunate. I had this Guru, that Guru fell, this thing, that thing. But we should not think like this. We should think that Krishna is so kind. He was teaching me Guru Tattva in real time. You understand? He was teaching what is Guru Tattva by this experience. So then when you meet Sadguru, you can actually truly understand. You understand? Because there's no accidents. There are no accidents. So then when you meet Sadguru and you receive Diksha mantras, means that mood given by Guru, he's giving you your mood. And now you begin to practice bhakti with Sambandha Gyan. The first part of your Sambandha Gyan will be aspirational. I desire to serve like that. And then as you engage now in bhajan, because before that it's like archan. You understand archan, everybody? No, archan, those people are very new, means you're going through the practice, but you're going through the practice not ritualistically with an intent, but the intent is based around becoming free from my material condition.
Some fear.
Huh?
Some fear.
And some fear of birth, all this. So you're trying to purify your existence. So you realize that the best thing for me to do is to serve God because I'm the servant of God. But at the stage of bhajan, the idea of getting free from the material world is not so important. What is important is even if I have to stay in the material world, Raghunath Das Goswami said, Yarichev Rajavasam Prati Janur. If I have to stay here for millions of lifetimes to get Braj Bas and the ability to serve Radha and Krishna, I will take it life after life. Gurudev many times, Didi will attest, he would ask it at any festival. If the Vishnu Dutas will come, they'll get the new one for you. On a Viman, and they will come down and they'll say, listen, you've been doing such nice bhajan. I see every day you've been doing such nice worship. So now we've agreed, you can come to Vaikuntha immediately. Even they'll have one of the Vishnu Dutas open the door for you. Everything. You'll go? What? You will not leave the material world, birth, old age, disease, and death, and go to Vaikuntha? Huh? You can go to Vaikuntha. No, it's true. It may be. But I'm saying, but for those who are steeped in the mood that they want to serve, you'll go to Vaikuntha? No. How you reject Narayan? No. You won't see that this is Bhagavan, God. He sent his own personal messages. Vaikuntha Uber. What can you say? But you'll say no? This becomes Sambandha again. That if I have to stay life after life, and I'll do deep endeavor in sudden bhajan, only to attain the goal. Sri Rupa Manjari Pada, Shai Mora Shampada, Shai Mor Bhajana Pujan. All my bhajan and pujas only to fall on the lotus feet of Sri Rupa Manjari. So nothing else. So nothing else. I don't want anything else. So then doing bhajan or the sadhu sangha like this, gradually, by practicing every day, you'll realize in the course of the bhajan, the actual nature of your swarup. Understand? When you put your hands together in the morning, because before you put your feet on the floor in the morning, you'll have to say Nama Om. What is Nama Om? Na Aham Mameti. You're reaffirming your Saranagati. That I've given up everything for the service of the lotus feet of Gurudev. Understand? And then you'll say your Guru Pranam, meditating on your Gurudev. And then whatever other Stavans do, you'll say. And then placing your feet on the ground, you'll go and you'll do your morning sadachar, everything like that. And then you'll go and you'll wake up your deities, Uttista, Sisto, Shri Guru, Tajaja, Nampipamoy, etc., etc., etc. And then the first thing you will do is say, Shangsharadava Navalida Loka. You understand? And you'll begin to glorify your Gurudev. Oh Gurudev, I was in the cycle of samsara. And just as a cloud had absorbed so much water in the form of mercy from the ocean of mercy. Who was the ocean of mercy? Huh? Krishna, he's good. Mahaprabhu better. Srimati Radharani. From the heart of Radharani, Gurudev has absorbed the ocean of Radharani's Kripa Shakti. You understand? And now like a cloud, he's come and he rains that water down on the jiva. That water, when you evaporate salt water from the ocean, when it comes down in a cloud, what kind of water is it? Fresh water. Why? Because the jiva cannot directly approach the Radha and Krishna. Because no adhikar. But Gurudev evaporates the water from the ocean of the heart of Radhika, rains it down as fresh water. It not only extinguishes the fire of your material existence, but it causes the growth of the bhakti lata. You understand? So then meditating like this, and then my Gurudev will take me by the hand. And Gurudev will say, Mahaprabhu Kirtana Nitya Gita Vaditra Majan Manasora Sena. He will sit me outside the courtyard of Srivasangan. And Gurudev will say, oh, behold, what is the beauty of Gaur Lila? The mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu is the form of Radha and Krishna that came in order to collect the jivas. This is the greatest love story ever told, actually. You have to understand, this is the greatest love story ever told. how much Krishna loved the jivas, that Krishna himself, he wants first to understand what is love. Krishna meditated, how can I understand what is the greatest love? Shri Radha Pranaya Mahima Kidraso Vanyeva. Who has the greatest love? What is this greatest love? Krishna wants to know. So then by hook, crook, anyway, Krishna gets the love of Radhika and he comes as Mahaprabhu. Now in that form, Prem Rosni Askarite Ashwaran, he can taste what is that kind of love, but also Rag, Mag, Bhakti Loke, Karite Pracharan. Now he will preach to all of the world how you can get this highest type of love. You understand? So now you'll think, oh, Guru Dev has entered me into Gaur Lila. By his mercy, he's made it available. I can get one drop of the mercy of Mahaprabhu. Then, now I can enter into the service of Radha and Krishna. Because no one can enter the service of Radha and Krishna without going through Gaur Lila. If you enter deeply into Gaur Lila, you will rise in the inner circle of Radha Madhav. I'm not explaining here, but it's very deep meaning, Radha Madhav. You understand? Quickly. Why is Krishna called Madhav here? Madhav means the goddess of, husband of the goddess of fortune. Who is more fortunate than Radhika? Ramani Shiromani Vishabhanu. Who's more fortunate than Radhika? And especially when Radhika manifests one mood, which is called Swadhina Bhatrika Nayika. It means when she manifests the mood in which Krishna comes completely under her control, she at that time is called Madhavi and Krishna is called Madhava. Therefore, Al Srila Prabhupada is Udipan before he would speak on the sacred Srimad Bhagavatam, which is Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. You understand? So now Gurudev gives you entrance into the service of Shri Radha Krishna. Shri Vigrahara Dhana Nityanana Shingdaratan Mandiramajanaro. You'll decorate Srimati Radhika and Krishna. So here the word Vigraha has three meanings. Shri Vigraha has three meanings. One meaning is the Vigraha of Sri. Means the nature of Manjari Seva is that they will decorate the body of Srimati Radharani. One meaning of Shri Vigraha during Nisant Lila is when Radha and Krishna are together in one form. We sing every morning, Mangala Shri Guru Gauda, Mangala Murati, Mangala Shri Radha Krishna Jugalapuri. This is one Shri Vigraha. The service of them during Mangala Nishanta Lila, the service of them during that time is also what's described in the third verse of Guru Ashtakam. Understand? And then, once you enter into the service of Radha and Krishna, because each of the stages of Guru Astakam are also different stages of bhakti. The first verse indicates the stage of Shraddha and Sadhu Sangha. The third verse indicates Sadhu Sangha and Bhajana Kriya, because Bhajan starts in Gaur Lila. The third verse indicates the stage of Bhajan, and the fourth verse indicates the stage of Ruchi. Understand? So after that, it will say, what's the fourth verse? Chatur Vidai Sri Bhagavat Prasado Swadvana Triptam Hari Bhakta Sanghan. So now he's saying the devotee has now become accustomed in serving Radha and Krishna through Gaur Lila by the mercy of their Guru Dev. They're in the stage of Ruchi. They're eligible to taste four kinds of Bhagavat Prasad. What kinds of Bhagavat Prasad?
Licked, licked and drunk.
Yes, what is licked, chewed, drunk, and sucked? Krishna's Rupa Madhuri. Krishna's Venu Madhuri. Wow. Krishna's praying Parikar Madhuri. And Krishna's what? Rupa Madhuri, Venu Madhuri, praying Parikar. Krishna's Leela Madhuri. It didn't mean hori, kachoris, halava, sabji, so forth, so on. That I've already realized. That's the first that I've already realized. Right? But here saying in the stage of Ruchi, one will realize Krishna's Chatur Madhuri. You understand? And then one will realize,
Chaturvida.
Chaturvida Shri Bhagavat Prasad. This is Bhagavat Prasad. Swadhana. Swadhana means nourishment. Ana means grains, but in Sanskrit it also means nourishment. What nourished, like the stage of anamoy in a child is the stage in which the child is being nourished by the parent. So ana means nourishment. Swad means swada means to taste. So he tastes the nourishment of Bhagavat Prasad. Means these four kinds of Lila Madhuri, Prem Parikar Madhuri, Ven Madhuri, Rup Madhuri. Swadan, yes. Ashwadan, yes, tasting. Then, Shri Radhikaya Madhavyorapada Madhuja Lila Guna Rupananam. This is the stage of Ashakti. Why? Pratikshana Dhanalolupash. When there is constant lolium at every. Pratikshana means, kshana is like a measurement of time. That's like, I don't know, a fraction of a second. So prati, at every second, Guru aspires to serve Shri Radha Madhav. This represents the stage of Ashakti. Understand? So then finally Guru Dev says, oh, this worthy disciple, I will give revelation. Nikunjayuno radhikeli siddhai yadali bhiyukti rapekshaniya tattari dakshanati varavasya vande guru shri charanarabindam. Guru Dev gives revelation of his own swarup. In seeing the swarup of Guru Dev, that disciple becomes overwhelmed in heart. Because as Guru Dev reveals his swarup, your own swarup in relation to Guru Dev is being revealed. At that time, the disciple becoming overwhelmed because of love of Guru, murchana. They will faint. When they awaken again, sakshadari dvaina samasta shastriya. Why now? Listen to the difference. That time he took darshan of Guru Dev's swarup. Then he fainted from the overwhelming nature. Now he's declaring again in his external consciousness, Sakshat Haditvaina Samastasha. All the Sastras told this, that Guru Dev is like this. And therefore, Yashya Prasadam, Bhagavad Prasadam, Yashya Prasadam, Nagati. Therefore, I will remember Guru Dev 3 times a day, right? When I chant my Anik, I'll remember my Guru Dev. Yes, 3 times a day. Sunrise, noon, and sunsets, correct? Not correct. I will remember my Guru Dev throughout the 3 periods of the day. Is there some time I will not be? Jai So I will remember my Guru Dev throughout the 3 periods of the day. And then Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur gives the Ashirvad, means the falsehood. Shrimad Guru Ashtakam Charucha. If you will sing this Guru Ashtakam with meaning during the Brahma Muhurta hour, means Nishant Lila, he's guaranteeing you Sakshat Seva in Vrindavan. You understand? If we are attentive to our practice like this, with Sambandha Gyan, the practice itself is imbued with Kripa Shakti of Bhagavan. The word Bhajana Kriya means Kripa Kriya. Kriya means an activity. In this case, Bhajana Kriya means the Kriya Shakti of Bhagavan. Kriya Shakti here means Kripa Shakti of Radhika. You understand? If you're doing bhajan sadhan with deep mood, with sambandha gyan, with understanding, with all these things, then the Kripa Shakti of Radhika will come, Bhaktya Samjaptya Bhaktya, 11th Canto Bhagavatam. That is what will impel your growth in bhakti and your realizations. You cannot advance yourself in bhakti. You understand? Our advancement in bhakti is strictly based on the impetus coming from the Kripa Shakti of Guru, Guru Parampara, and ultimately Srimati Radharani. Just like in the material world, we were never the doer. Bhumipati started mentioning this earlier. Normally what happens is somebody, John, he realizes, oh, there's a beautiful Hare Krishna center here. He comes. He becomes very fortunate. He takes Harinam from Didi. That time he becomes Janadas. And Janadas thinks, yes, I'm going to do bhakti. Instead, I'm going to practice bhakti. Then 6 months later, 1 year later, Didi may be very strict. He may say, no, 5 years later. He gives Diksha. Now he becomes Brahmin. You understand? So now each of these different phases, John became Bhakta John, who became Janadas, who now has become a Diksha initiated disciple. He's thinking, I'm doing bhakti. I'm advancing to I'm doing bhakti. But even in the material world, it's mentioned, Prakriti Kriya Manani Gunai Kamani Savasha Ahankara Vimuratma Kartamiti Manyate. So what happens is Bhakta John, unless you get under good guidance, Bhakta John takes the same principle of Ahamkara. What is the meaning of Ahamkara?
I am the doer.
Aham, Karana, and Karta.
I
am the cause and the doer. And this mentality naturally leads to, I am also the Bhokta.
I'm the enjoyer.
I'm the enjoyer, naturally. I'm the cause and the doer, I'm naturally the enjoyer. So then one begins to think, I'm doing bhakti. So I will enjoy bhakti. Oh, very wonderful Harinam Kirtan. Oh, very nice. Sing again, please. Oh, very nice, Prasad. I'm enjoying bhakti. You understand? So in this way, this idea of being the doer will never allow you to entrance into the position of being what is called sakshi. Sakshi to bhajan life means you're the witness. What are you witnessing? You're witnessing the power of the Kripa Shakti of Radharani coming through Guru Parampara, through Gurudev. This is our position. Even when you obtain the stage of Bhav, in the stage of Bhav it's described. Who knows the verse for the stage of Bhav? Sudha Sattva?
Visheshadva,
Prem?
Prem Suryam Shusam,
Samyabha?
Ruchi Vishchitavasunya,
Kridaso Bhav Uchate. 3 verses later, Avyabhuya Manovrito Vrajayate Tat Swarupatam Swayam Prakasha Rupopi Pashite Manakasya Chit. 3 verses later it will say, when Bhav descends onto the chitta of the jiva, then it takes over the functions of the chitta vrittis. It means when Swarup Shakti descends, it takes over. You're not the doer then also. You're riding the roller coaster of the influence of Swarup Shakti. You understand? So we're always not the doer. In bhakti, and certainly not in the material world, but even when you come to bhakti, you're not. Therefore, until the ahamkar is given up, even in the practice of bhakti, because saranagati means, Bhumipati will mention, giving up false egoism. Anukul is a sankalp. A sankalp is made. Anukul. Whatever is favorable for bhakti. Is my false egoism favorable for bhakti?
No.
Can I perform bhakti by my senses?
No.
There's a nuance here.
Yeah,
Because the verse says, Kriti Sajya Bhavat Sajya Bhava Sadanavida, that you're performing with your senses. But the backdrop of this is, what is the verse for me?
It's with the intent of developing bhakti.
It's intent, because actually the material senses cannot do bhakti. Ataha Shri Krishna Namani Namavad Graham Indriya. With your Sevamukhi Jivano Swami Smratida. You can't do bhakti with your own senses. So what's happening? Oh, the subsidy of the Kriya Shakti is engaging your senses, and that's how you are being engaged in bhakti. You understand? So we're not doing bhakti. But as long as the ahamkar remains there, Srila Prabhupada wrote in the 2nd canto, I believe it is, he wrote that you'll be doing bhakti still under the influence of the modes of nature in 81 different varieties. 3rd canto. 81 different varieties of the modes of nature. Because there's 9 processes of bhakti, 3 modes of material nature. The modes never stay steady, so each is interacting with the other. 3 times 3 is 9, times 9 processes means 81 different varieties of the modes of nature. So till you give up the false egoism, and the only way to give up false egoism is to be established in your own identity. So the first of those I already mentioned is that I'm the Das of Krishna. This is why sometimes we do the Bhuta Sudhi before chanting Gayatri. You know what Bhuta Sudhi is? Naham Viprona Narapatena Vivashana. We'll chant maybe before chanting on it to break the material abhiman. I'm not anything material. Gopi Bhakti Pada Kamayo, Dasa Das Anuda. I'm the Das, particularly of Srimati Radhika, but in general, I'm the Das of Krishna. You understand? And this mood sets the table for you to then do your Gayatri mantras. You understand? Each mantra will be Saranagati, then the Dhyan. So first you'll do Saranagati with each mantra, and then you'll do the Dhyan of that particular mantra. Understand? In this way, what I'm trying to point out is that there's a synthesis between the practice and your heart. If the practice is done minus Sambandha Gyan and minus the investment of your heart, it will become a Niyama Agraha, or it will become Anusthanik. Anusthanik means it will be ritualistic. Understand? But if you will practice with the intention of heart, with Sambandha Gyan, the practice itself with Harinam will reveal your Swarup, Krishna, the Dham, everything else in gradual stages. And you cannot impose or repose from that. In other words, you cannot say, okay, yes, then I'll push the process. Because then it will turn into Prakriti Sahajavad. If you repose, which means, oh no, I'm not qualified for that, you're still trying to be in control. You understand the difference? So on one hand, you're trying to force it to happen. The other hand, no, I'm not qualified. Is bhakti up to you? No. You understand? Bhakti is not up to you. Bhakti is up to bhakti. Bhaktya sanjati. Bhakti comes from bhakti. Bhakti comes from bhakti. So I don't know. This is why Bhaktivinoda Thakur sing Ekakiyama nahi paivo. Harinama Sankirtane. And Yogyata Vichari Kichu nahi pai. Tomara Karuna sar. When I examine, I have nothing. Oh Gurudev, I'm only composed of your mercy. So somebody will say, oh, that was a great kirtan, Gurudev's mercy. You understand? Somebody says, oh, that was wonderful what you, Gurudev's mercy. Sometimes a person will say, oh, Prabhuji, that was such a great kirtan, everything. Oh, Prabhu, I'm most fallen. I'm sorry. I'm the lowest of all. Understand? But I don't know even if I'm low. I don't even know that much. All I know is everything is only the mercy of Gurudev. And the reason I'm saying this is because actually humility is an actual sanchari bhav. Real humility is called danya bhav. It is political correctness to say I'm very fallen. But the real sentiment, danya bhav, paripokena dhanasya krishna prema jasamvitanyate. It comes in the advancement of bhakti. It's not a politically correct statement in the social dynamic I'm dealing in. Prabhuji, you gave very nice, oh yeah, I'm so fallen. I'm the most fallen. So one way to avoid that is to simply say, I don't know what I am. All I know is the mercy. I'm not even intelligent enough to analyze. I'm to Radha and Krishna. That praying, Shri Radha Pranay Vikriti Ladini Shakti Asmad, has produced the golden form of Radha and Krishna together, Rasaraj and Mahabhav in one form. So all the names become one name, Shri Sachinandan Gaura Hari. Jai Gaur Premanande. So we'll leave sometime. I don't know what the schedule is. And please forgive me because I'm just getting over some cold. And these devotees have been so kind to me because they're just kind of carrying me around, making sure I drink the right amount of fluids and all these things. Any question? Yes, Didi?
So that beautiful description of Gurudev carrying us through of Guru Vastakam and Gurudev carrying us through all the way to the higher stages of our devotion. Now, somehow when I think of Guru being Guru Tattva and all of that, it feels so impersonal to me. It's hard. And so after Guru leaves this world, in what form is he responding to our prayers, and in what form is does he ever think of us? Or does he ever, like, he's everywhere, he's always here, but in what form is he relating and responding and bringing us through? Is it in his Mahaprabhu Leela form? Because in his Gopi form, he's fully engaged. So that's what.
Very nice question. Oh, thank you, Prabhuji. I'll hold it out so people will have it. So it's mentioned there, Bhattakyesham Gurudeva Tattva. That means Gurudev is always very, very close to you. And actually, our Gurudev used to say, I'm closer to you than the air you breathe. Is correct? I'm closer to you than the air you breathe. Bhajan Sadan is Gurudev. You should not see that there's a difference between Bhajan Sadan and Gurudev. How can you do bhajan if Gurudev is not there? How you chant, how you nam, Gurudev is not there. How you speak Harikatha, Gurudev is not there. So Gurudev is there in the Sadan bhajan. According to the adhikar of the devotee and the maturation of the devotee, they will experience Gurudev as the memory of his Gaur Roop, means his form in Gaur Leela, as you saw everything. And in that way, we'll remember the instructions of Guru, Gurudev's Harikatha, so many things, we'll take inspiration. The disciple becomes more mature. He realizes that when I wake up in the morning and say Nama, Om, Vishnu Padaya, etc., my Gurudev is fully present in the actual pranam mantra. You understand? And that pranam mantra produces the vision of two roops, his Gaur Swarup and his Braj Swarup. And especially in doing Guru Ashtakam, then in the gradual stages, one realizes up to the point of the Manjari Swarup of Sri Gurudev. You understand? So in this way, of course, it will be the adhikar and maturity of the disciple. So it cannot be artificial. But one should think, my Gurudev is always present with me. After Gurudev's Samadhi Lila, the first couple of, on the timer in 2010, I was there in a lecture. I was just trying to help organize festival, this, that, to get to. So I didn't really, you're so absorbed in those things, you're trying not to really delve into Gurudev is now no longer in terms of his vapu with us. Then the next couple of years, very difficult for me to speak at any Virohe Utsav anything. Then some time came and I thought, no. My Gurudev is not gone. If my Gurudev is gone, how is doing bhajan sadhu? So my Gurudev is always here. Now my Gurudev is here in Antradasha. Antradasha means there's 3 different kinds of states of a realized person. One state is when they're in the external paradigm or external communication ideal, where they're talking to us, teaching us, doing different things. There is a state which is called Ardvayadasha, which is when they're half in internal consciousness, halfway in external consciousness. And then there's Antradasha, which is when they're fully in internal consciousness. In Samadhi, it means they've entered into Antradasha and they're situated there. So when I'm doing my bhajan sadhan, I'm doing my bhajan sadhana to have association with my Gurudev in Antradasha. Understand? So therefore the dhyan in my bhajan sadhan will be in relation to Gurudev in his Braj Swarup. You understand? And Gurudev was kindly revealed this Swarup. You understand? And if anybody does serious sadhan bhajan, then Gurudev will be merciful and reveal. Some of our acharyas have revealed, some have not. But if any sishya is really sincere, doing serious sadhan bhajan, then the Guru will reveal within the course of the bhajan. So one should think, my Gurudev, first of all, is always present. Right? It's also present in sadhus. In Didi, Gurudev is also present. Understand? So in sadhus, Gurudev is they're the prakash of Guru. Understand? So we'll see my Gurudev, just like there's many people I take shiksha from, and I see that this is the prakash of my Gurudev. Understand? Because one thing is there to understanding one thing. Sometimes there's the idea, well, Guru Tattva, you may have this Guru in this life, in the next life it may appear in another person. Narottam Das Thakur wasn't thinking like this. Chakudan dilo, Janami, Prabhu said, my Gurudev is my Sadguru. He is also my Guru Rupasaki. You understand? He's my eternal Gurudev.
Adi 158. Preceptor.
Yeah, the preceptor appears before the external senses of the fortunate conditioned soul. It's in one verse in Chaitanya Charitamrita Jive Sakshat, Nai Chaitya Guru Rupe, Shiksha Guru Hoy, Krishna Mahan Swarupe. So the Guru, even if he's not present to our eyes, he's there in the form of the Shiksha Guru. So Gurudev's presence is always manifest. Any other question?
So in the Vishesh Sambandh Gyan, like a human has to totally give away Abhiman and Ankar.
Yes.
So like it's pretty hard to do that. How can
It's called surrender.
surrender?
Yes, Saranagati. Saranagati has 3 different kinds of stages. One is called Prapati. Prapati means the intent. I want to surrender. In that mood of Prapati, then it's an appeal, it's an invocation to Bhagavan, give me mercy. Bhagavan will grant you mercy. At that time, you can act on that Prapati. It will become Anukuyasya Sankalpa, Pratikulyasya Vivajanam, Rakshishiti Vishwas. Rakshishiti Vishwas means my power to do the Saranagati is not there. So, Rakshishiti, Krishna will be the Raksha, means he will be the protector of my ability to accomplish being Anukuyasya Sankalpa and Pratikulyasya Vivajanam. Understand? Vishwas, in Sanskrit, Shwash means also to breathe. One meaning so Vishwas means a conviction, because in general, Vishwas means a conviction or trust. Here it means the same kind of trust I have. I'm going to take my next breath. I believe that Krishna is maintaining and protecting my bhakti. So Rakshishiti Vishwas and Goptave Varanam Tata doesn't mean Krishna is making sure I don't get mugged and making sure I have a job. So it doesn't quite mean that. That may play itself out, but that's not the general meaning. It means that Krishna is the protector of my endeavor to obtain bhakti, and he's the maintainer of it. For those who have Diksha mantras and you chant Gaur mantra, this meaning of this word, Vishwambaraya, is the meaning. That he's maintaining my bhakti, because again, we're not the doer. And then when our bhakti is mature, Atma Nikshep, then we can offer our Atma completely to Krishna. And this naturally breeds, and that's why Karpanya, humility is mentioned almost at the end. Because humility, that's why I was speaking about humility like that, because it's such a deep feeling. Real humility comes in Bhav. Doesn't mean we don't act with etiquette. We should act with etiquette. But real feeling will come in the stage of Bhav. But then, we also don't have to endeavor to give up false ego. If you will try to be in your real ego, automatically false ego will be displaced. How? If I will act as the servant of Krishna, my idea of being the material persona I am will automatically be dissipated. Just like the stage is called Anartha Nivritti. Who's going to do Anartha Nivritti? Guru. Because he's saying, Bhajana Kriya. So the Kriya Shakti of Bhagavan removes your anarthas. Here, I want to remove the things which are not favorable. Then Krishna grants the power within your Bhajan Sadhan. And the Bhajan Sadhan is removing your anarthas.
Like in the Rathayatra appendix.
Because there's people in the
Rathayatra appendix where it describes how bhakti, people have a conception at first, I will become pure, then I'll get bhakti. It'll never happen in millions and millions and millions of births. Bhakti will manifest, Srila Gurudev is quoting it, it'll sometimes manifest even in the most vile individuals. Bhakti will manifest first, then the anarthas go away.
Yes.
It's just like if you go in a dark room, it's not like, well, I'll stand there and wait till the light comes on. No, the light comes first, then the darkness goes away. Yep. So bhakti will manifest first, then the unwanted things will go away. It's in this book. So those who don't know, in the appendix on page 308 of this book, you'll have to buy this book as well.
These are the last ever printed versions.
It's actually, I've read some of these books and I go through them and something inspires me, and then I take it and I try to share it. So I never was really, I went out on Sankirtan and sold books, but I sell more books more now from just reading them and knowing what's in them and telling people about them, and then they say, okay, because this is an important point, because everyone has the conception that I'll get purified, then bhakti will come. No, it'll never, ever, ever. Gurudev says never and never and never will it ever happen. So we're here, actually, we come together because we come to inspire one another. I've been doing a phone conference 5 days a week for over 20 years. And this is the key. Once Gurudev came on and he heard us and he had Madhava Maharaj to speak some things. So he asked me in Houston in 2008, what was I doing? So I told him, Gurudev, we're still doing the phone conference. We read your books, Prabhupada's books, Srila Bhakti Rakshak, Srila Maharaj, Bhagavatam, Chaitanya, Charitamrita, Jaiva Dharma. We've been through so many. But he told me, oh, you should continue. And I've never stopped. I was even in the hospital at one time in like 2009 in intensive care. I still did it. So we have to have this type of determination. I'm telling you, what little bit of conception that I've understood, I'm telling you, it's right, like in the books of Srila Gurudev. And Shamarani, often she would mention, and I've heard her say this, we should pray. It's not just a book. Oh, Srila Gurudev gave these lectures. He's right here in the books.
Yes.
Oh, Srila Rupa Goswami, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. They're not regular books. They're here to inspire you. And the only surrender you do, take the time and effort to try to understand. Just like a small baby will try to walk and they'll stumble and fall. But the parents won't let them just stumble and fall. They pick them back up. So Guru and Krishna will also pick you back up. But you got to put forth the effort. In Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he has one article on my god brother. I'm always giving some bvmlu.org. Puru Prabhu, he did this. And there's one article, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, it's called Initiation in Spiritual Life. In the very beginning, we have such an impetus and such a push. And it reminds me when I was younger, I had this little fire engine, and my sister would push me in it, and I would be going fast, but I knew if I didn't start pedaling, it's gonna stop. So initially we come to the process of bhakti and we have this great impetus. But if we don't start pedaling, it's going to stop. So it means the effort. We have to put forth the effort. Two things are necessary. Damodar Lila, Kripa, and then the sadhaka, the endeavor. Both of those are necessary. When Mahaprabhu was speaking to Sanatana Goswami says, what's more important? Mahaprabhu said both. Because this is a special type of mercy we're trying to obtain. Do you think that Radharani is going to let you get close to Krishna? Or do you think Krishna is going to let you get close to his most beloved? That's why it's beyond Sadurlabha. It's beyond that. So we have to be just sincere and gradually. Don't try to jump to the top. Gurudev said, if you try to jump to the top, you'll fall down and crash your head.
Prabhuji had a question too.
Yeah, I wrote down a bunch of questions, but because I'm like, very new and I don't know what a lot of these mean, like Diksha. What does Diksha mean?
Diksha means it's like sometimes it's referred to as a second initiation. When we first come to the process of bhakti, normally a person who's performing the function of guru will give Harinam. That means they will introduce you to the chanting of Krishna, but it brings you under the guidance of the parampara. So beginning with that person who gave you the Harinam and going all the way back in a chain of succession to Krishna himself, it's putting you under the auspices of that mercy so that your chanting can become successful. Later, as you become a little more mature, I was mentioning, they give you a relationship to the chanting of the name because the names are directly Radha and Krishna. So then they will give you a relationship to those names or give you a relationship to Radha Krishna. That process is called Diksha.
Also, what is Samvada? Yeah, Samvada Gyan.
Very good. Very good explanation. Very good. Sambandha literally means completely. Band means to bind something. So Sambandha is really the nature of the relationship between the soul and Bhagavan, because the soul can only truly be bound to God. Every other relationship that you think you're bound to in this world is temporal, so you cannot truly have Sambandha, Atma to Atma.
Yeah.
It can only be from your soul to God. There may be many things that are around that, which may have the reflection of it also, but the true nature of Sambandha is between the soul and God.
So then a follow-up question I had to that, when you were saying how the Atma is not affected from material existence, like of suffering, when we go through experiences and we experience suffering or any of these things, like any what we think we are, what is being affected and what is not being affected? Like how can you make that distinction between like the Atma that is not kind of being materially affected, and then what is being affected? Like you mentioned, like false ego and true ego and things like that. So like more insight on that.
Excellent questions.
Yeah, very good.
Really good questions. So first, it would be important to understand the sort of construction of the relationship of the soul to the body. So in between the soul and your physical body, there is a subtle body. That subtle body is a housing that carries one karmic portfolio to the next. So karmic portfolio means exactly what you aspired for and how you acted in a previous life. They culminate in a package. Your subtle body is the housing for that package. Your subtle body is made up of a sense of identity called egoism, a mind which accepts and rejects phenomenon, and the intelligence. And the intelligence, for lack of a better word, is like a unlimited database. That unlimited database continuously feeds information to the mind to be accepted and rejected based on the status of the false identity you have of that egoism. That subtle body is an interface between your soul and the material world. So what happens, I described, is like looking at a movie. So you're looking at your comic movie playing out. The modes of material nature are the director and producer. So now you're looking at it and you're going through the emotional roller coaster by vicarious identification with what you're seeing. So your karma's playing out, and you're identifying with it and the actions of the modes of material nature. But the soul itself never touches the material energy, because like oil and water, they do not mix. Now, what happens when you start to become enlightened is that artificial vicarious identification is removed. Once it is removed, what's left is the direct experience of the soul itself. Now, the soul's experience has different levels. First, the soul can be experienced just as being free from the material energy. That is called Atma Ananda. That means I know I'm not part of this material world, therefore I have no more suffering.
Like nirvana.
Like nirvana, well, almost. The next level is like nirvana.
Yeah.
The next level is when he identifies that not only am I not part of the material world, I have no suffering, but there is a happiness, because happiness is not stagnant. Happiness always is increasing. So there is a happiness that comes from relating to the modality of happiness itself. This is like nirvana. Then that happiness will increase, but it requires recognition of a feature of Bhagavan. Prabhuji mentioned in the beginning, Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. If the person has not offended God, he may then realize happiness as Brahman. This is called Brahma Ananda. Brahmananda. If the person even wants higher happiness, then he can experience the form of God as Paramatma. And then if a mood arises even more, I want to serve that Paramatma, then Seva Ananda arises, and then that can go all the way up from Narayan, all the way up to Sri Krishna himself. Interesting thing in Brihad Bhagavatamrita, that there's a question being asked. What happens if you've already attained Brahman? Can you still end up serving Krishna? Or are you just doomed? Muktasya tasya tachakti satchidananda dehinam prapitas. Even in Brahman, if the soul desires service to Krishna, it can happen even in Brahman. This is written in Brihad Bhagavatamrita. Who cannot obtain Brahman, that kind of happiness? A person who, they're called Mayavadis. The word Maya means illusion, and Vad means a theory. So those who theorize that whenever Krishna, Lord Ram, or any of the incarnations of God make an appearance in this world, they come in the mode of material goodness, and therefore they're no longer absolutely spiritual. They become part of the modes of nature in the mode of material goodness. That is called Mayavad, and because there is an inherent offense to the very nature of Bhagavan, those persons can never go beyond simply being freed from the material energy. And eventually they will also fall back to material energy in the mode of material goodness. Okay? So these are different levels of being free from that suffering. If a person is very fortunate, Bhumipati Prabhu mentioned that it is sadulabha, it's very rare to get bhakti. But if a soul very fortunately comes in contact with a bhakta, then they can get the seed of bhakti. And then they can get this prem that we've been talking about. We've not really talked about prem. Prem is a very deep subject matter, very high kind of subject matter. Yeah. It's okay?
Yeah.
There's one question back here.
Oh, let me take the question first. Hold on a second, because he's right close. You want to do questions first? Right, Prabhuji has a question in the back. We'll come back.
I'm waiting very patiently.
Diddy, every Sunday you answer so many questions.
Come this way.
No, I'm saying.
First of all, I would like to thank you, Prabhuji, for your time for being here. It was a wonderful speech, and we have really learned a lot from your speech today. So there are some takeaways that I would be taking home and would be following based upon your speech. Thank you so much for that. So I haven't read Bhagavad Gita, but due to this good atmosphere, it came within me. It inspired me to start reading Bhagavad Gita, and I'm starting reading it. Like I read few of the pages. I would be surely completing it and getting more takeaways from the Prabhu Gita, which I can utilize in my life. I have two very basic questions. I don't know whether my questions will not make any sense to you, and I'm really sorry. I would have asked these questions to Prabhus who are already here along with me on weekly tour at times, but then still it came to my mind that I just put it across at least to you right now. So my first very basic question is,
why this world has been created, why so many human beings have been created with different mindsets. If you go through the Mahabharata, there are different peoples with different mindsets, with different activities they used to perform, right? Same like in the human world also, people are very different mindsets. Some are very arrogant, some are very simple, some are very decent, and then some. So there are things that can happen. So why God has created so many people and with different mindsets, and then why we are doing this? Like I have 2 kids. I will die one day, they will grow up, they will marry, they will have their kids. Again, the same routine will be followed. Why these all things are happening? Why we have to eat every day to keep our stomach full? Like how? Why this whole world is being created? I don't know. I'm so sorry for that. Maybe I will get an answer once I complete my Bhagavad Gita.
Good question.
That is my first. Second question is, I'm so sorry.
Do you want to take one at a time?
Sorry.
Let's take one at a time, and then you.
Okay. Okay.
What is your name, Prabhuji?
Ravikant.
Ravikant. So, Prabhuji, have you ever heard this term, teleology? Teleology means a purpose for something. So certainly, God created this world with a purpose. The purpose in this world is that a person will, by the experience of the kind of samsara you're describing, going cycle to cycle, going through so many things, eventually they will realize this is not the all in all for me. And that question will come that I mentioned earlier in the lecture. What else is there? The kind of question that led you to stop here, that led you to start to read Bhagavad Gita. That is the purpose for which the whole creation exists, nothing else. Everything else, the multitude and myriad of different things you see, is simply unlimited karmic portfolios interacting. Each karmic portfolio is as unique as a person's DNA. So every single person has their own karmic portfolio that's exclusive to them. And all of these karmic portfolios are interacting. But the overarching purpose of the creation is called Srishti, which means creation, Lila. It is actually a pastime of Bhagavan. I wanted to say earlier, it is the greatest love story ever told. Because prior to meeting your wife, you didn't know her anything like that. But after meeting her, after being married, even when you didn't know her, it was part of the great love story. Do you understand this? In the same way, even before we know God, before we know Krishna, it is the greatest love story. I didn't know Krishna, what is Radhika, what is Bhakti, and then I found out. In the 16th chapter of Jaiva Dharma, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur expresses this. You have to look carefully, but he expresses this is the greatest love story ever told. Because now in this pastime, the Srishti Leela, you'll discover the greatest love of all. You understand? Here's one other question.
No problem.
No, Ravikant, very nice.
Yeah. My second question I remember now. So like in Bhagavad Gita, it has been said that you are not a doer and you are not a controller.
Yes.
Right? You are only a follower.
Yes.
But now, if I did yesterday anything a wrong sin, I didn't did it, right? It has been asked me to do. I'm a follower, right? Whatever I will do bad things since tomorrow, that I'm not going to do it because I'm not a doer. I'm a follower. I'm so sorry, but that's how I understand it.
Yes.
So whatever will happen or had happened or whatever will happen in my life, that is not because of me. That is because of someone who is controlling, who is a doer. So like, what I should do now? If tomorrow something happens wrong to me, it's not because of me. It's not because of my karma. Till date, what I was understanding is, whatever my karma would be there, that's how I will get it. Whatever you do, you will get it in return. It's a small world. Whatever you do bad things, you will not die until you do a paschatap for your bad things. Right? But then again, the same cycle goes on. Like, if I'm not a doer, if I'm not a controller, then why I am supposed to do wrong things? Why didn't he control me? Like, I should always do good things. They have given a brain, hand, legs, mindset, everything. I'm coming here, I'm learning new things. But then again, if I do a bad things, why he's asked me to do bad things? Because he's a doer. I'm so sorry if it doesn't make any sense, but then thank you so much.
So not being the doer means we're not the overarching doer. It does not mean we're not the minute doer. So let me explain that more closely. So overarching, you work for any company, right? You're working under the instruction and auspices of a particular boss. But you also have some minute independence within the context of that company. So you can do something in your minute independent category that may be not beneficial to the company, and then some punishment will come down from the corporate law that will chastise you for that bad doing. In the same way, the overall control of everything is God. But God grants you a minute independence. That minute independence is a great ingredient in the mixture of love. That's what it's meant for. But you can misuse it. And when you misuse it, it is not that God told you to do it, and it is not God who's punishing you. It is the law of karma that's punishing you. If I will put my hand in a fire, the nature of fire is heat and light. When I put my hand in the fire, God is burning me, or the fire's nature is burning me. And putting my hand in the fire, it's come from my desire, or God told me put your hand in the fire. So I'm not the doer. I'm not the doer is not an escape from the responsibility of the misuse of the minute independence that we have. You understand? We have a minute independence. And the reason we have a minute independence is because it is part of the ingredients of loving someone. If you're forced to love someone, it's not love. So that minute independence is given to each jiva so that when they become mature, that becomes the essential ingredient is I love Radha and Krishna. You understand? If you misuse that, it spawns desires like I want to do this. This thing will produce this reaction, but I want to do that thing. Now we cannot say, if I'm driving my car, my former career as police officer. So I'm driving my car, I pull up, and I decide to run the red light. The police pulls me over, and I say, oh, please don't write ticket to me, write to Bhagavan. I am not the doer. Right, you understand? So by application, practical application, we are the doer in our minute sphere of given independence. It makes sense? We're given minute independence. Right. Huh?
I have got my the whole life journey. I just forgot the name. The complete life of my span. What things will happen to me that I have.
Your astrological.
Yeah, they said me that now you're at the age of 38. At the age of 45, you will get a good loss of money. You will suffer losses in your life.
Don't listen to this.
No, it has happened. So what I am going to do, it's already been written. That how my phases of life will go, everything is written. In the age of 60, I will meet with an accident. I will meet with an accident. So at the age of 60, my mind will not work. For some fraction of moment, and I dash a car and I got an accident. My both legs are not working now. But then it was already written 30 years back by one Pandit that at the age of 60 you will meet with an accident. So where is karma?
No, because the Jyotis astrologers, they will look at your karmic portfolio according to Jyotis, and they will see so many patterns. If the Jyotis is very good, he can say, oh, this may happen, this may happen. But once you will come to Bhakti, all karma is eradicated. Because now you're under the jurisdiction of Bhagavan. So now Bhagavan will say, now this is my devotee, therefore I'm in charge of this devotee. Any karmas, parabdha karma means what you're supposed to suffer now. Even aparabdha karma, what you should suffer in the future. Even kult means the desires that will create more karma. And the seeds for all are washed away by practicing bhakti.
Wow.
So once you will come to bhakti, it's a new slate, and now you're in the family of Bhagavan. Bhagavan is taking charge. Yeah. So even the law of karma is subservient to Bhagavan.
But like a fan, so Prabhupada said, just so it's not instant. These things, when you start in this fan, the fan is slowing down. You've unplugged it.
Oh, I'll come back.
Right. So there's a process, and that's Bhagavan.
Yeah, that's a very good point. So we have to be patient. You made a good point. That if you unplug a fan, you've disconnected it from the karma. But the fan doesn't come to an immediate stop. The blades keep turning, but they have no power behind them, and gradually they will come to a stop.
So how would you say that the Bhagavad Gita, there is a war between the Kauravas and the Pandavas. And how would you explain the nectar of Srimati Radharani in that Bhagavad Gita?
Very deep question.
In that Kurukshetra war.
I will explain. Very deep question. Oh.
Can you repeat the question?
The question was, how do you reconcile and understand the whole nature of Radhika, Krishna, and the prema of Radhika Krishna, their Braj Lila, everything, with the battle of Kurukshetra between the Kauravas and the Pandavas and all these things? What is Bhagavad Gita? Where did Bhagavad Gita take place? Kurukshetra. Do you know what this place is? One time, during a solar eclipse, after 70 to 80 years, after Krishna had left Vrindavan, during a solar eclipse, the Vrijabasis and Krishna coming from Dwarka, they met at this place, Kurukshetra. At that time, they met there for 2 months. During that time, the gopis pleaded with Krishna, you should return to our Vrindavan. Radhika told, when Krishna said, I'm always there, don't worry, so forth, she said, no. Ridoya Moraman, Mani Vani Eka Kali Jani. Some people, their heart and mind is different, but my heart and mind are the same. And my heart is Vrindavan. If you really want to please me, place your 2 lotus feet in my heart, come on the chariot of my heart, and come back to Vrindavan. Krishna told, still, there's some more demons I have to take care of. I cannot return to Vrindavan at this time. Just think that for 1 fraction of a second, Atatite Bhavan Anikananam Tritayugayate Tvam Apashatam. If the gopis do not see the face of Krishna even for a fraction of a second, it's like a yuga has passed. What is 70 to 80 years? That kind of deep separation? Now they're meeting at Kurukshetra. Krishna still cannot return. Later on, a battle takes place in this very same place. Krishna comes back and he pulls his chariot up. He has his very dear Saka Arjuna with him. And he pulls onto the battlefield there at Kurukshetra. What does Krishna remember? Meeting of the Vrijabasis at Kurukshetra. Therefore, he inspires by his own heart a mood in Arjuna that Arjuna becomes bewildered. This gives the opportunity that that person who is on the chariot can enter the mood of Brajendra Nandan Krishna, speak his catharsis of separation in 700 verses in code called Bhagavad Gita. You understand? Is any praman for this?
In which part of the Bhagavad Gita?
This is written in Gita Mahatmya. What is this verse? Sava Upanasad Dogavo Dugda Nandana Gopala. Patsa Vatsa Sudhir Bhokta Dugda Gita Amritam Mahat. All learned and thoughtful devotees. Understand how Krishna, he used Partha means Arjuna. Vatsa means a calf. Just as if you want to get milk from a cow, you have to take a calf. In the same way, Krishna took Arjuna like a calf and milked his own heart of his catharsis of separation from Vrindavan in the verses of Bhagavad Gita.
How is that?
Huh?
It doesn't sound like it in the Bhagavad Gita.
Therefore, Gurudev gave a very secret. He said that there are 5 levels of understanding Bhagavad Gita. Samanyan Upakyan, it means general instructions. What is your duty? What should I do? What is right in Dharma? What is wrong? Guya, what is the nature of the soul? It's different from the body. This is called Atma Tattva. Guyatar, more confidential. What is bhakti? Being devoted to Bhagavan, to God. More confidential. Guyatam. What is Braj Bhakti? Sava Guyatam. The highest feature of Braj Bhakti is the love between Radha and Krishna. This is the answer to your question. So Krishna knows 700 verses. If you're under guidance, you'll understand. Sava Dhamma Parityajam Momekam Saranam. You should give up everything. Srila Bhakti Rakshak Maharaj gives in his commentary on Bhagavad Gita. You should give up everything and you should go to Braj. The word in Sanskrit, Braj, means to move. But here he's saying, Saranam Braja. Oh, Arjuna, give up everything. The question will come now, wait a minute. Who is Arjuna that Krishna would be talking to him like this? In the Adi Lila chapter 4, it describes how Krishna used to tell Arjuna all about his love affairs with the gopis. He quotes, Krishna's Kaviraj quotes from the Adi Puran. The Krishna used to regularly tell Arjuna how glorious are the gopis and so forth. 212 in Adi Lila chapter 4, 216 as well. 116? Yeah. Adi Lila chapter 4, he glorifies how he would speak. It's quoted from the Adi Puran. He would speak to Arjuna about the love of the gopis. So now Arjuna becomes bewildered because his heart is very close to Krishna. So when Krishna's heart was going through emotion, having been stimulated by coming back to the place he last met Vrijabasis, Arjuna vicariously becomes bewildered. So when he asks Arjuna about his bewilderment, Krishna's smiling. Oh, Arjuna, how have these impurities come upon you? Because Krishna knows. And now he's going to take advantage. He's going to speak. In general, just as this soul passes from boyhood to youth to old age, similar to the time of death, it passes into another body. Don't be bewildered by this. Oh my gopis, even though you saw me at Kurukshetra and you saw me in a different dress, and you remembered my boyhood pastimes, and you remembered my Kaishur Leela with you, don't think that I've become someone different now. You should remain Dhira. You understand? These are the Sarvaguya Tam Katha of Bhagavad Gita. You should hear under guidance from sadhus. But first, you should follow basic instructions of Bhagavad Gita. Right? Before you hear like that, you should follow basic upakya of Bhagavad Gita. I'm not the body, etc.
Where does it describe, in what scripture does it describe the Sarvaguyatamam explanation?
Oh, this was told. There's an article by Param Gurudev called Atmanivedan. On the, it's on BVMLU. And then also, Gurudev was described in the introduction, I'm about to say, in the introduction of Bhagavad Gita, he describes those 5 levels of understanding.
In his Bhagavad Gita?
Gurudev's Bhagavad Gita.
Yes, the red one. The ones that you, the little small ones that you.
Oh, he doesn't need to. But it's in the introduction to Gurudev's Bhagavad Gita regular. He describes the 5 kinds of levels of understanding. Because for those who want to serve in Braj, their mood and perspective will always be aligned with that. Listen? So they will always think only how things are related to Braj. What is the meaning of Mathura and Dwarka? Mathura and Dwarka are only places which nourish separation in Braj. Other than that, there's no real meaning of Mathura and Dwarka. The Leelas that are there, the proof of this is that it is reconciled by Rupa Goswami in Lalit Madhav. This is why he wrote Vidagdha Madhav and Lalit Madhav. This is a poem written by Rupa Goswami to reconcile the position of Mathura and Dwarka in relation to Braj, is why he wrote this Nataka. To show that the real thing is, from the perspective of Braj, Krishna's Dwarka Leela is only the Virohe Prakash, means a separation portal in Braj. Understand? These things are
very high.
Yeah. In Brihad Bhagavatamrita also. When Narada came to see who was the greatest devotee, Krishna was telling, I only married you because you remind me of. Can you explain that?
Brihad Bhagavatamrita book 1.
Yeah, did he only marry Rukmini because of Radharani?
Rukmini, Satyabhama, everybody.
Yes.
Do you remember that, if you could explain that?
Yeah, so in Brihad Bhagavatamrita, Narada Muni comes and he wants to know who's the greatest devotee. Long story short, Didhi's telling that at one point, Krishna is speaking, this is in Nava Vrindavan, because in the Lalit Madhav, Rupa Goswami describes this takes place in Nava Vrindavan, which is created by Nava Vrinda. She creates, like in Brihad Bhagavatamrita, Nava Vrindavan, same thing in Lalit Madhav. So then it explains that originally in Gopal Champu also it's explained that when Krishna wanted to marry Rukmini, right, that Rukmini had written a letter to him. And in the letter she told, if you don't come and you don't kidnap me and you marry me, I will give up my life. So Jiva Goswami Pai told that all the Vrijabasis were thinking, if he does not marry this young girl, at that time so much ill fame will come to him. Because of him, this young girl will give up her life. This is in Gopal Champu. But then in the Lalit Madhav, it describes that Rukmini, who is Rukmini? Chandravali. You understand? Rukmini is Chandravali. You understand? There's a whole story that's told how she was taken from the womb of Chandrabhanu Maharaj, given to the womb of Vindhyachal's wife, and then she was kidnapped, and then when she was kidnapped, she was dropped. She was found and taken to Maharaj Bhishmaka, and it's also a very long story. You understand? But he only agreed to marry Rukmini, if I have it correct. He only agreed to marry Rukmini because by marrying Rukmini, then at that time, first of all, they also say because Balaram was already married. That was another thing. But also because then it would glorify the nature of the Parakya Bhav of Radhika. That Radhika's praying is superior. You understand? Is there something else, Didi? I think I'm missing something.
Yes.
Here, give that microphone.
The queens and Balaram and Uddhav, Narada, they were all arguing with each other whether Krishna's cruel to not go back to Vrindavan.
Yeah.
And
Balaram got really upset.
some of them said he's cruel, some of them said no, he's very merciful. And then Krishna himself, who was in the middle of pretending he was sleeping and crying, he explains why he doesn't go back. Can you take it?
Balaram says he's a cheater.
That's the real.
Balaram says he's a cheater.
So, in part, Gurudev used to tell the Kada first why Krishna has left Vrindavan. Whenever Krishna is in Vrindavan and Radha and Krishna together, there's always the fear of their separation. Because Radha and Krishna, they don't have any. They do not have any sambandha except their praying. There's always the fact that Radha and Krishna will have to be separated at some point. This separation is also nourishing. It nourishes the meeting. But the fear of Krishna's separation is always there when Krishna is present in Vrindavan. When Krishna leaves Vrindavan, he goes to Mathura and Dwarka. At that time, it allows the separation mood of Radhika to reach to a point where her separation mood creates meeting. This is explained in Ujjali Mani. Ruda Akya Bhavoyam Sambhoga Vipranambika. It says here that Radhika's mood is so high. This is in Mohan Bhav. So, it's such a high topic. So, different levels. So, Prem has so many levels. Prem, Sneha, Man, Pranaya, Rag. That Rag turns into Anurag. Anurag becomes Mahabhav. Mahabhav has two phases, Rud and Adirud. That Adirud has another two phases, Modan and Mohan. Modan is up to all of these Swapaksha Radhika. Mohan, Ujjali Mani says, Praya is mostly only in Radhika. And Madan is exclusively in Radhika. So in this Mohan Bhav, Sambhoga Vipralambika, the ka suffix rather, means that her separation mood is so strong, it produces meeting of Krishna. But not like a sporty, not like a vision. Nirbhara Nanda Purna Paramavadi Ishyate. It produces the full association with Krishna uninhibited, which even Krishna himself by his presence cannot do. Understand? Her love, in other words, love is superior even to Radha and Krishna themselves. The love in the mood of separation is so deep, it produces association with Krishna unfettered. When Krishna is present, that will never happen because there's always the idea he will go at some point. You understand? So her separation mood produces meeting. In that meeting, it is unfettered. You understand? So therefore, her love is more fully expressed in the mood of separation, but that separation is actually meeting.
So that's what Krishna was explaining in Rukmini's palace.
Ah.
He can't go back.
Because of that.
It's not really cruel.
Yes.
It would be worse if he goes back.
Yeah. Also, it's explained there that Radhika's love is called Madanakya Mahabhav. The description of Madanakya Mahabhav is Yog Esha Bhaved Esha. Vachitti Gopi Madanaha, Rajavilasa Virajanti, Nitya Lila Sasrida. So here it's explaining Yog Esha, that Radhika's love is always in Yog. Therefore, they're always meeting, because in the highest state of Radhika's love, she has the power to meet with Krishna unfettered. You understand? So Yoga Esha Bhavedesha, Vichitti Gopi Madanha. Their separation is only Vichitti Gopi Madanha, means it's a play of the vilas of praying. But Nitya Lila Sahasrada, they're unlimited prakosh. A prakosh means a chamber. Just like this house has so many different rooms, there may be activities going on in so many different rooms. So Nitya Lila Sahasrada means Radhika is meeting and being separated with Krishna in so many different chambers simultaneously. This is the nature of Madhanakya Mahabhav. It's unfathomable. That's why Krishna can't understand it. So he comes as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to try to experience it, and we only have aspiration to serve it. God Haribol. No, Prabhuji. He never said his point.
He wanted to ask a question.
No, he wanted to say a point.
Say his points.
Did
The only point I wanted to mention is that the most important thing in this process, at least from my understanding, is that first of all,
Can you put the mic closer?
There are many stages of taking through this process of bhakti. And one of the most important things is to have in the first part is what? Shraddha. If you don't have Shraddha, which is faith, then the next one would be Saranagati, surrender. So we all come to this process, but how much are we willing to give up to really to get what actually is within Bhakti Yoga? The Guru is there. He's Sadguru is willing. He's giving. He wants to give it. But if we don't put the work in it, you come and you can grab the books off the shelf and what have you. But if you don't put the work in, the work means you also have to be what? Sadhu Sangha. So many of you, I can see some of you look pretty new, which is a good thing. But then those who are really new should come in association of those who are already practicing and go back and forth and try to learn in that way. This way, this is how you get it. You can't get it just going to Walmart or Home Depot. I know they don't. That's why I'm saying they can't. But here you have this. It's such a beautiful center you have here, and this is the extension of the Shamarani. Because of her many years of doing artwork, she has created such beautiful spiritual windows here. So the last thing I want to say is that most important is Harinam. We spoke about that last night. Harinam is where you get it. If you chant and listen intently to each mantra, you get it. Not just chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Ram Ram, Shri Shri Ram, what have you. No. When we're chanting intently and remembering each syllable, gradually, everything will be unfold. You'll see it. Trust me. You might like it.
Anything? I think we're concluded.
I just have one little question.
Jai.
Going back to almost the beginning of your talk, you were saying that when you first wake up in the morning, you say different prayers, and then you put your feet on the ground. So Srila Gurudev was saying that I want you to perhaps expand on that statement, because he said then you beg forgiveness from Mother Bhumi for standing on her. Can you say anything?
So before you touch the ground in the morning, Sumutra Mekale Devi, Parvatstana Mandale, Vishnu Patni Namastubhyam, Asupara Swashanam, Shamakshame. You're praying to Bhumi Devi that in order to do my seva to Guru and Krishna, I have to place my feet on you. Bhumi Devi's Bhagavan Shakti. If you go to any temple in South India, there's always three Shaktis which are present there. Bhu, Shri, and Leela or Neela Shakti. So Bhu Devi is considered a Shakti of Bhagavan. So before you place your feet on, you want to beg forgiveness and ask her mercy to allow you to be supported to do your service. But there may be many other stavas too. You have to Guru Pranam, Guru Ve Gaura Chandra. It depends individually. But you'll say prayers before placing your feet out, and that prayer will be said. Because you want to have respect for the Shakti of Bhagavan.
I hope it's why. So why the people in the temple read the Bhagavad Gita? Read the Bhagavad Gita from the evening classes and know the Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. Why Srila Prabhupada instructed to read the Bhagavad Gita if the nectar of Srimati Radharani and Krishna is in the Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita or the other books.
You cannot understand what is in Chaitanya Charitamrita if we don't understand the basics of what's in Bhagavad Gita. If you understand the basics of Bhagavad Gita, you'll understand that all the nectar of Chaitanya Charitamrita is also in Bhagavad Gita. In a sense, so it's the adhikar and maturation of the devotee. That's what is the revelatory power. The revelatory power is not in this book, that book. It's in the growth in the heart of the devotee. Gurudev will look in Bhagavad Gita and he can see Gita. The other thing is that without having the foundational principles of bhakti in place, Utsaha Nishchaya Daya Tata Kamavatana, Vachuvega Manasakrodavega, Gurudev used to say many times, if you cannot do these things, then the prema of Radha Krishna is very far away. That's why Ashrila Bhakti Saraswati Thakur and even Gadadhar Pandit at Dr. Gopinath Temple, giving Srimad Bhagavatam to Mahaprabhu's associates, he would speak on Narasringa Prahalad Charit. Why? If you don't find love in the Sringa Prahalad Charit, how you'll find it in the 10th canto? You have to first see love in the Sringa Prahalad Charit. How much love Bhagavan had for his associates. How much love Jai and Vijay had for Bhagavan. You have to first catch love here. Then you'll understand in the 10th canto. So we have to take, Prabhuji just mentioned, it should be progressive step by step. If you're trying to go very far, very fast, then accident is very possible. And you want realization, you don't want information. Understand? So you can do many shlok, many different things, but you may become very erudite speaker, know so many blah blah blah, but no realization will come. So you want to realize gradually, sincerely, follow everything very nicely, do sadhan bhajan very nicely. And then when you hear these things, they will take a seating in your heart. And when you're doing sadhan bhajan, the dharan means the concentration will be there. That'll give rise to dhyan. Dhyan means the meditation. It will be organic. You'll not have to falsely, like kalkana means imagination, make it happen. Understand?
Ansha 5, 131.
What's it say?
Ansha 5, 131. About in order to understand the Bhagavad, you have to have the person Bhagavad.
Oh, yes. So he's saying in the Anchalila 5, he's mentioning in order to understand Bhagavat, the book, you have to understand Bhagavat, the person. Yaha Bhagavata Prada Vaishnavara Ekanta Sraya Chaitanya Charani. This is mentioned in Chaitanya Charitamrita. So a lot of sincerity and patience. That's why he said, you need patience. Because we've done everything on a schedule. I got 6 years, whatever it is, of elementary school. I'm going to high school 4 years. I'm going to college 4 years. I do my postgraduate. So everything is on a timetable. Even my food, I want a microwave 2 minutes or 3 minutes. But we can't translate that into spiritual life. Because also how much samskar you had from previous life, bhakti samskar, so many factors are there. Pratanakal duni jasti yatsa bhakti vasana. What bhakti vasanas from previous life will also come into play. So many different things. So being patient, confident, and very humble, Chainadapi Sunich. Then organically bhakti will rise. And then whatever rises in your heart, you keep that inside your heart and not putting it out in the public.
No, just for the record,
Can you do a kirtan?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Go on forever.
Oh, okay. Personally afterwards. I know he has so many questions. All right, Kirtan. Who's Kirtan? Because one of my brahmacharis. Oh, one of the brahmacharis. Come to Kirtan.
Okay. Gaur Premanande.
Hari Hari Bol. Jai Srila Gurudeva ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Guru Parampara ki jai. Shri Shamarali Didi ki jai. Bhakta Vrinda ki jai.
Jai Mukunda Prabhu ki jai. Shri Gurudeva ki jai.
How long?
Let's go.
Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna
Jai Shri Guru Mukunda Vika Giridhari Shri Radha Vinoda Bihari Ju. Jai. Jai. Nityalila Vishnu Vishnu Bhagavan Sastar Sisamat. Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Nityalila Vishnu Vishnu Bhagavan Sastar Sisamat. Shri Bhakti Vedanta Bhaman Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Nityalila Vishnu Vishnu Bhagavan Sastar Sisamat. Shri Bhakti Vedanta Trivika Maharaj Ki Jai. Mr. Prabhu Trai Ki Jai. Nityalila Vishnu Vishnu Bhagavan Sastar Sisamat. Shri Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Distan Sastar Sisamat. Prabhu Bhar Ki Jai. Nityalila Vishnu Vishnu Bhagavan Sastar Sisamat. Shivacharya Keshi Shri Bhakti Pradhan Keshi Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Nityalila Vishnu Vishnu Bhagavan Sastar Sisamat. Shri Bhakti Rakshak Shri Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Sab Shiksha Guru Ki Jai. Shri Bhakti Shri Bhakti Saraswati Thakur Suparikar Ki Jai. Nityalila Vishnu Vishnu Bhagavan Sastar Sisamat. Shri Bhakti Saraswati Thakur Jagat Guru Shri Prabhu Bhar Ki Jai. Mahabhagavad Gopishwar Bhavaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Sachidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ki Jai. Vaishnav Swami Gomadananda Swami Maharaj Ki Jai. Shri Gauriya Vedanta Acharya Baladev Jimishmu Ki Jai. Rasik Shiromani Shri Krishna Chakravarti Thakur Ki Jai. Narottam Srinivaschamananda Bhujaya Ki Jai. Krishna Kaviraj Goswami Ki Jai. Shri Rup Shri Shrimati Bhattaraya Shri Gopal Bhatta Dasana Sad Goswami Ki Jai. Swarup Damodar Ramananda Goswami Ki Jai. Shri Ramacharya Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Ishwar Puripar Ki Jai. Prem Se Gausi Krishna Chaitanya Uchanan Shri Ritik Dara Shri Sari Gaur Bhakti Ki Jai. Shri Radha Krishna Gopi Govardhan Shiva Jolodhar Ki Jai. Shai Patram Nirara Kunji Manandanga Shri Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. jai, Sheila Lita Visakasta Saki ki jai, Visakasta Ramana ki jai, Durbar Purnamasi Devi ki jai, Bhima Devi jai, Gopishwa Mahadev ki jai, She said to Mana ki jai, Janaswara Shiva Shira Sanju ki jai, Bhakti Vignas and Shina Singh Bhagwan ki jai, Bhakta Prabha Shipelan Bharat ki jai, Charodam Chausa Pada ki jai, Akamara Shi Chaitanya Mat ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande. Jai Krishna Krishna Patikma Krishna ki jai. Shri Shamana Nidhi ki jai. Sacred Vedic Arts Bhakta Sangha ki jai. Premanande Hari Hari. Mahaprasad ki jai.
So, we want to thank the devotees for coming down here from Alachua, and we'll be ever grateful for their beautiful association. And Mukunda Prabhu mentioned, and then you come to a point of initiation and you get initiated by Didi. But I just want to mention that we're not zonal acharyas right here. So anyone who wants to develop a relationship with Mukunda Prabhu and take shelter of him, it's great. Because as you can see, he's quite qualified and realized. Like, you'll never get a tear out of me. But he just explodes because he's realized so. Okay, go up, Premanandi. Now, Prashadam, repeat after me. Oh Lord, this material body is a lump of ignorance.
Oh Lord, this material body is a lump of ignorance.
And the senses are networks of paths leading to death.
And the senses are networks of paths leading to death.
Somehow or other we've fallen into this ocean of material sense enjoyment.
Somehow or other we've fallen into this ocean of material sense enjoyment.
And of all the senses, the tongue is the most voracious and
Of all the senses, the tongue is the most voracious and mighty.
And difficult to control.
And difficult to control.
It is very difficult to control the tongue in this world.
It is very difficult to control the tongue in the world.
That's where you'll get a tear out of me. But you, dear Krishna, are very kind. You have given us this prasadam, spiritual food.
You have given us this prasadam, spiritual food.
Just to help us conquer over the tongue.
Just to help us conquer over the tongue.
Now let us take this prasadam to our full satisfaction.
Now let us take this prasadam to our full satisfaction.
Full satisfaction means Raganuga Bhakti, not stuffing ourselves.
Full satisfaction means Raganuga Bhakti, not stuffing ourselves.
And in so doing, glorify their lordship, Sri Sri Radha and Krishna.
And in so doing, glorify their lordship, Sri Sri Radha.
And love for the help of Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda.
And in love, cry for the help of Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda.
Is it raining outside?
Yes.
So we'll proceed to put the tarps out here.
Yes.
Then you can honor prasadam here. Thank you.
Jai Ho! Mahaprasad ki jai! Mukunda Prabhu, thank you so much for coming.
No,
I'm so grateful. It
no,
was so much nourishing to me.
No, thank Didi for
Yes.
coming down.
I owe her everything.
Because we hadn't been to here. We only went to Hollywood before.
Yeah.
we
Now
haven't
you've
come
seen
here.
Sri Radha Raman Bihari.
Yeah,
there,
so
Lord.
beautiful.